And we'll go to Arsenal against Manchester United. And your commentator is Joe Shannon.
Jim, thank you very much indeed. Welcome to North London. 6.5 minutes gone. Arsenal 0, Manchester United 0. And from now until the end of the game, whether we need extra time or indeed penalties, we'll be live and exclusive with you on Talksport. These two, the best that the FA Cup has to offer. 27 competition titles between them. The FA Cup's most successful club against the current holders. It is quite simply Arsenal against Manchester United. And it is live on Talksport. Arsenal in possession, playing from left to right in the first half. Early touch for Lewis Skelly. Out to the far side of the left, and Gabriel Martinelli to take on Noussair Mazraoui. Inside left channel. Looks to jink back in field. Manuel Ugarte is back there for Manchester United in front of 8,000 travelling away supporters. And eventually he shepherds the ball out of play expertly for a goal kick to United away to our right-hand side. Arsenal all in white today as part of the No More Red campaign. Arsenal's work over 40 years now to try and reduce knife crime and youth violence in the community. Arsenal all in white, playing from left to right. They have David Raya in goal, Timber, Saliba, Gabriel and Lewis Skelly at the back, Odegaard, Jorginho and Marino in midfield, Jesus, Martinelli and Havertz up front. Manchester United all in dark blue. Bayindir is the goalkeeper, as we expected the case to be today. De Ligt, Maguire and Lisandro Martinez the centre-halves. Mazraoui and Dalot the wing-backs. Ugarte and Mainu in midfield. Garnacho in for Ahmad. Højlund and Bruno Fernandes are the front three. Once again, Marcus Rashford is left out of the squad. 8 minutes gone. Terrific atmosphere here at the Emirates Stadium in North London. It's 0-0, and here's the former England striker Darren Bent.
Yeah, good afternoon. I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing the two systems. We know exactly what Ruben Amorim's going to do with that 3-4-3 system, and Arsenal in that 4-3-3. I think what's been evident, certainly in this first, 7 minutes, I think when Arsenal get the ball, they need runners. When you look how square Manchester United back, even as a back three, it almost drops as a back four, and one of the fullbacks will sit in alongside De Ligt, Maguire and Martinez. Arsenal need runners. I think if you keep playing to feet and keep playing in front of them, I think they'll enjoy that. But there was one time when Martinelli made the run in behind and they didn't see the pass and he would have been away. I think if Arsenal are going to break down this Manchester United back line, they're going to have to be a bit more direct and maybe get over the top of them.
It's a chilly day here in North London as Arsenal win a free kick out on the far side of the field in their left wing position. One of these infamous set pieces that Arsenal are so good at profiting from, and Manchester United infamously, particularly actually under Ruben Amorim, finds so difficult to defend. And United have brought everybody back. A long line of dark blue shirts on the edge of the penalty area in the third round of the FA Cup. Arsenal 0, Manchester United 0. We're into the 10th minute. Martin Odegaard standing over the free kick, midway inside Manchester United territory, about a yard in field from the left. And Timber, Saliba, Gabriel all forward for Arsenal. Odegaard takes it square. He's deceived everybody. To Jorginho, who floats a high diagonal ball to the back post, headed back across by Marino. The offside flag is up, and let's get confirmation of the full-time score in the FA Cup at Tamworth. Here's Jim Proudfoot.
Yeah, Tamworth 0, Tottenham 3. It's finished. The brave, valiant effort from the Lambs earned them a standing ovation. Spurs needing 101 minutes and an own goal to find the breakthrough. Kulusevski and Johnson added to it. Tamworth getting to extra time, a victory in itself. Leave the field, heads held high. Tamworth 0, Spurs 3 after extra time.
Jim, thank you. So Tottenham through, albeit in unconvincing fashion. Newcastle a goal down at home to Bromley in the FA Cup. Would you believe it? The League Two side in round 3 for the first time ever lead at St James's Park by a goal to 0. Newcastle 0, Bromley 1, and there's live commentary right now over on Talksport 2. All you've got to do is download our Talksport app, and then you can swipe between both stations at your leisure. Cameron Congreve, the man who's put Bromley in front. Last season they were a non-league side. Now they lead at Newcastle in the FA Cup as Garnacho puts in a strong sliding challenge, poorly timed on Gabriel on the halfway line. Arsenal will get a free kick on the far side of the field, 0-0 here.
Yeah, I don't think it was 2-0 from Garnacho. He goes to ground quite early, and to be fair, he's quite low, and he catches Gabriel on the ankle. I mean, it's not a booking. He tries to anticipate the situation by going to ground quite early, but just times it all wrong, and yeah, it's a foul, but it's no more than that.
So many great memories of FA Cup matches between these two sides in the past. Arsenal, the 1979 final, Alan Sunderland's winner. 2005, Patrick Vieira's final touch as an Arsenal player to win the FA Cup final shootout at the Millennium Stadium against Manchester United. And of course United have the memories of that wonderful run from Giggs in the semi-final in 99.
Bad defending that.
That was one of the great FA Cup games of all time.
Incredible. Bergkamp misses a penalty just before that, doesn't he? I think Peter Schmeichel saves it.
He does, yep, at the end of normal time.
Yeah.
And then Ryan Giggs with that extra time winner. They just love going head-to-head, these two, and it's a classic fixture. Long ball flighted upfield for Arsenal by Marino. Out comes outside by India, and the goalkeeper juggles the ball over the head of Martinelli, puts it out to play for an Arsenal throw. And
that's what I was talking about in terms of the delivery. Martinelli goes to go short and spins in behind, and they can't handle it. Mazraoui and De Ligt on that side, he could run away from both of them, but Arsenal need to look at that early enough, because you saw there, it wasn't even a good quality pass, it was just a clip in behind, and Martinelli was away.
8,000 Manchester United fans away to the right in the lower tier of the clock end. There could have been even more than that. There was a disagreement over tickets. Long throw into the penalty area for Arsenal from Lewis Skelly. Headed away only as far as Havertz. Missed kick by Bruno Fernandes. Havertz on the turn sees his tame shot blocked. Manchester United all in dark blue, and they have enough players behind the ball to clear. Arsenal all in white today. There's a foul by Højlund, clumsy foul on that far side of the field. And of course, one of the questions of today is which Manchester United will turn up. Will it be the Manchester United that won at the Etihad, drew at Anfield, or will it be the Manchester United that, for example, were beaten comfortably here at the Emirates just over a month ago?
Well, they've started off today's game defensively solid, a little bit like the Liverpool result where they're getting people behind the ball, they're going with runners, they're even leaving a little bit on Arsenal players there, and I don't mind that from Højlund, because it's going to be tough against Saliba and Gabriel. I mean, as a partnership, they're up there with the best in the Premier League, maybe even in Europe. So Højlund, he's going to have to back in, he's going to have to try and draw fouls, he's going to have to be a little bit nasty, leave a little bit on them, because if you let those two kind of dictate to you, it could be a long afternoon for Højlund. So they're going to have to get him the right service, but for Arsenal's perspective, they're going to dominate possession, but they have to have movement. Not everything can be to feet.
Tottenham needed extra time to win at the tight confines of the Lamb Ground at Tamworth on that plastic pitch. Tamworth 0, Tottenham 3, the final score. Doncaster beat Hull on penalties to go through to the fourth round of the FA Cup. Bromley lead away at Newcastle live right now on Talksport 2. Crystal Palace 1, Stockport 0. Arsenal 0, Manchester United 0 here. Odegaard floats in the free kick. Up goes the looping header, and it's turned behind and away for a goal kick to Manchester United. Gabriel was there. 4 times he's scored this season. All 4 goals have come from set plays, but he was quite a long way out, and there was no real chance that a looping header like that would trouble Altay by India.
Yeah, it'd be difficult from there. I mean, there's not a lot of pace on the cross as well. It's more of a clip whip from Martin Odegaard. So, to be fair, he has to generate the power, and I think he gets in there a bit early, so it's a bit behind him as well. And to score from there with that type of header, I mean, it would have had to be incredible. So, yeah, it was good that an Arsenal player got there, the first contact, but you're never going to score from that type of delivery.
Nearly a quarter of an hour gone. Goalless live and exclusive on Talksport. Havertz looking to raid down the left. The slender, tall Havertz scampers in field, plays the ball back to Jorginho. And 5 yards to the corner of the penalty area. Now Martinelli taking on Mazraoui. Lovely whip cross, headed away by Maguire. It'll drop down to Yuri and Timber. Edge of the D, edge to shoot. Falls wide by Bruno Fernandes, the Manchester United captain. United with plenty back off the ball. Odegaard, mesmeric feet into the area. Timber's low ball in. The Arsenal fans get to their feet, but it's cleared away by Harry Maguire. Arsenal sensing there's an early goal in this cup tie for them. Now Gabriel Jesus delivers. Dalot gets back to make the block, and it is an Arsenal throw.
It's a great ball from Timber, and Kai Havertz just gives him a little an apology because he's caught on his heels. He doesn't anticipate the ball's going to come in there, and if he does anticipate, it's a tap-in for him. So that's opportunity gone for Arsenal.
Good tackle by Mainu, deep inside his own half the field, and Bruno Fernandes has it whipped off his toes by the sliding challenge of Jorginho right in front of Ruben Amorim. We're sat directly behind the Manchester United dugout, about 20 rows from the front. Arsenal fans in their red and white scarves and hats all around us. We're just to the right of the halfway line as we look at it. Newcastle 0, Bromley 1 it remains in the FA Cup, live on Talksport 2 this afternoon as Manchester United regain possession with De Ligt. We'll have the draw for the fourth round of the FA Cup once we're done here, and from 6 o'clock you can have your say on an incredible weekend's action so far. The final word with Majestic and Alan Pardew. 03717 223344 is the number to call. Diogo Dalot for Manchester United. Slice clearance, dreadful. loops up to the edge of his own area. Odegaard could be in, and it nearly fell for Jesus in the box. Across came Ugarte, and Ugarte clears right-footed. I thought has his best game in a Manchester United shirt at Anfield last weekend.
Yeah,
but Manchester United are pinned back here, Darren Bent.
They are. Arsenal really applying the pressure now. They're trying to use both wings. They're doing what Arsenal predominantly usually do when Bukayo Saka is there, and that's play on this right-hand side.
Over the top from Saliba for Havertz, and the offside flag is up. That checkered flag, orange and yellow, up into the air from the assistant referee. And Manchester United will get a free kick away to the right inside their own penalty area. The holders of the FA Cup, that dramatic victory over Manchester City at the end of last season. Arsenal have won it 14 times, one more than Manchester United, and it really is a critical week or two for Arsenal. They'll play Tottenham here in the North London derby on Wednesday. Offside against Diogo Dalot this time at the other end, the North Bank end of Emirates Stadium, and Arsenal have a free kick. Just how important is it, do you think, Darren, these next few matches, a succession of home games for Arsenal in the Premier League and the Champions League?
Yeah, it's huge, absolutely huge. I mean, as you said there, the result against Newcastle wasn't great, although maybe with the chances they had, they could have won that. Then they got this game against Manchester United, and then Tottenham in the North London derby. But I mean, it almost feels like the way people have spoke about Arsenal, it's crisis. I mean, Arsenal have lost once in the last 14 in all competitions, in all comps, and that was against Inter Milan in November, until that Newcastle result the other day. So they're in really good form. And on the flip side, Manchester United have lost 4 out of their last 5. So it just feels like, because of that performance against Liverpool, that Manchester United are seen as a team that are in form. But for Arsenal, no, they can't have any more slip-ups. I'm not saying it would be crisis if they lost today, but it's surely for confidence they need a result.
Lovely flick by Odegaard into the path of Jesus, down the middle by a deflection. Martinelli's in! Martinelli finishes! But the flag goes up, and the goal is going to be ruled out. Arsenal thought they'd pick Manchester United apart. Very calm finish from Martinelli in front of Altay Bayindir and the Manchester United fans. But in the end, it's the travelling support who are cheering. The goal ruled out due to offside, and of course no VAR at this stage of the FA Cup. So it's definitely going to stay ruled out, and it stays 0-0.
I mean, it's great play between Martinelli and Gabriel Jesus. And yes, the right decision. I think he's about 2 yards offside. I mean, it's a really nice finish from Martinelli. He gets in there, shows composure. He sits the goalkeeper down and just rolls it in with his left foot. But looking at the replays there, you can quite clearly see he's about 2 yards offside.
Now Manchester United hoist the ball downfield towards Rasmus Højlund, but Arsenal quickly across to win it back. The ball is sent skywards by Gabriel. The murky grey clouds up ahead. Arsenal 0, Manchester United 0. Arsenal much the better side in the first 19 minutes. Newcastle have an equaliser at home to Bromley in the FA Cup. Bromley's lead didn't last long. It's 1-1 live on Talksport 2, and there's a goal in the FA Cup at Ipswich. We'll go there in a moment as Odegaard is flagged offside. We can now go to Portman Road. Here's Talksport's Mike Sewell.
18 minutes played, it's all going to plan. Ipswich 1, Bristol Rovers 0. A first goal in an Ipswich shirt for Calvin Phillips. Ipswich working it from initially Wes Burns' cross from the byline on the right, back into the middle, and from around 25 yards out, Phillips steered it in to the left of Griffiths. Ipswich 1, Rovers 0.
Ipswich, the 1978 FA Cup winners, against the team 20th in League One. Rangers lead St Johnstone by a goal to nil in the Scottish Premiership. Hamza Igamani has got the goal. The Rangers, who are 18 points behind Celtic, or where at the start of the afternoon they have a game in hand. St Johnstone are rooted to the bottom of the table. Header away by Gabriel as Arsenal look to make some early headway. Just under 20 minutes gone. Latest scores in the FA Cup: Crystal Palace 1, Stockport 0, Ipswich 1, Bristol Rovers 0, as you've been hearing. Newcastle 1, Bromley 1 is the latest score. And goalless here at Emirates Stadium in our exclusive commentary on Talksport. 11 matches from FA Cup third round weekend on the network. Over Thursday to Monday in the FA Cup this season. Arsenal with Timber in the right back area, and now Saliba chests the ball infield towards Odegaard. Sliding in is Lisandro Martinez, no doubt riding high after that great finish at Anfield last weekend. But it really is all Arsenal in the first 20 or so. Arsenal fans out of their seats trying to urge the team forward. And of course, what we didn't see here against Newcastle in the League Cup semi-final on Tuesday was enough clinical finishing.
Exactly, and I think that will give Martinelli a little bit of confidence. I know he was offside, he maybe went a bit early with his run, but the composure that he showed to finish it off I thought was exceptional. Set the goalkeeper down and just rolled it in with his left foot. But that's the type of movement you need. When you're playing against a back three and they're as narrow as they are, Manchester United, you need runners. I think if everything's defeat to feet, they're quite comfortable, they'll go and head it, they'll go and compete. The moment you start getting movement in and amongst them, down the sides of them, that's where you'll start to see the likes of De Ligt, Martinez and Maguire really struggle.
Darren Bent, former England striker, is with us, formerly of Tottenham as well. Spurs scored 3 goals in extra time to beat non-league Tamworth after an heroic effort from Tamworth at the Lamb Ground. You could argue they deserved a replay. Of course, no replays in the FA Cup anymore. Arsenal 0, Manchester United 0. Ødegaard breaks away from Ugarte in the centre circle. He's dinked it over the top. Martinelli races onto it. Angle is against him. He'll play it back to Gabriel Jesus. There are 2 in the middle to aim at. Jesus looks infield early for Ødegaard, who was under pressure from a retreating Ugarte. And the ball has ended up going through to the green-clad goalkeeper by India.
Fantastic run from Martinelli, and that's what we're talking about from that left-hand side. It goes from out to in between De Ligt and Harry Maguire, and they can't live with him. The only thing you'd have to say is the pass from Ødegaard. There's not enough pace in it. He almost clips it, and that allows Mazraoui to track his runner, because he does that really well, and it bounces and he just can't get away from the defender. But that's the type of movement, but a better pass of execution, and Arsenal have been really in.
There's a great energy and pace about Arsenal going forward so far today, as Mainu is fouled by Jorginho. 0-0 in the FA Cup Game Day exclusive on Talksport with Carling, the official beer partner of the Emirates FA Cup. 18 plus, please drink responsibly. Mikel Arteta watching on in his dark overcoat, and there's a synergy today between the Arsenal players and fans who've responded to this quick start. But of course, midway through the first half, it means not a great deal if you don't then take the chances and put goals between themselves, Arsenal and a Manchester United team who of course really struggle for clean sheets. Garnacho spinning down the middle inside the centre circle. Arsenal midfielder's gone missing. Out wide to the left is Bruno Fernandes. Near side 0-0. Bruno Fernandes plays it through the legs of Jesus. And Diogo Dalot checks back and feeds the diminutive Lisandro Martinez. No great movement from Højlund right through the middle in the red boots for Manchester United. They go back to Ugarte now, 15 yards into Arsenal territory, and it's some of the greatest numbers in terms of passes in possession that Manchester United have had in the game this.
Yeah, it has, yeah, they're moving it around quite nicely, to be fair. No real tempo to it, no real energy.
Kobbie Mainoo from 25 yards with a low shot, and David Raya goes down to save. Mainoo, who hasn't scored since the FA Cup final at the end of last season.
Yeah, I mean, he works it again really well, but Manchester United patient in possession, just moving it, almost daring Arsenal to come out and try and press. But Kobbie Mainoo, that was nice from him. He almost applies it, shifts his body a little bit and creates the angle, just doesn't get enough power on the shot.
Ødegaard collects possession. Silky, the Arsenal captain, that effortless elegance as he carries it forward. Martinelli on the halfway line, blocked off by Harry Maguire. Maguire now tearing up the inside left channel. He's got Højlund to his left. Rasmus Højlund from the dead ball line to whip it in low. Poor delivery, nothing behind it. Swept away by Saliba. Then a foul on Gabriel Jesus. Well spotted by the referee Andy Madley. It's a free kick. Rangers 2, St Johnstone 0 in the Scottish Premiership. Václav Černý has got the second goal at Ibrox for Rangers. Gabriel Jesus on the near side, still awaiting the first goal in North London in the third round of the FA Cup. Arsenal knocked out in the third round in 2 of the last 3 seasons. Manchester United, who proudly won the trophy for a 13th time last year. Out on the left, the far side for Arsenal is Martinelli. Left wing position, back in field to Gabriel. Manchester United have got everybody back behind the ball. Great noise all around the ground. 8,000 travelling supporters here today. Martin Ødegaard, 25 yards out, thinks about a shot, step overs, finds Mourinho with his back to goal. He'll lay it back to Jorginho, sweeps the ball out to the right hand side. Jesus digs it into the back post, and a flying header behind by Mazraoui. Let's quickly get news of another goal at Ipswich in the FA Cup with Mike Sewell.
Another goal for Ipswich. Ipswich 2, Bristol Rovers 0. This one scored by Jack Clarke from 6 yards out after Ali Al-Hamadi mishit his shot in space. It's a game of first, because Calvin Phillips opened the scoring with his first goal for Ipswich. They lead 2-0.
So here comes an Arsenal corner at 0-0, and all eyes on Altay Bayindir, who of course on his last Manchester United appearance conceded straight from a corner against Tottenham and Heung-min Son.
Yeah, we hope that doesn't happen again. It looks like Arsenal, I mean, the way they've set up again, they almost leave 4 or 5 just beyond the 6-yard box, the opposite side. But I always feel like Arsenal, the delivery's got to be right. I think there's no Declan Rice out there whose delivery for these set plays has been exceptional. But at the minute, they've had a couple of opportunities, Arsenal, so far in this first half, but they haven't quite got the delivery spot on. The Gabriel header was a little bit behind him, but this is a prime opportunity now.
Well, Martinelli waiting, hands on hips. Gabriel's having a word with the referee, not quite sure what about, and David Raya was just speaking to one of the Arsenal physios, as Arsenal still wait to take this corner. Raya's come across the near side now to speak to Mikel Arteta, and Gabriel still looks to the referee. He's not happy with something, but it's getting tasty here at the Emirates. Of course, two clubs with such a great history, a great rivalry, particularly, of course, in the Sir Alex Ferguson, Arsene Wenger eras of the Premier League and the early noughties. This is so often the game to be at. And if, of course, you couldn't get a ticket, Talksport is the place to be, the only place to be today. Corner for Arsenal coming up. And they're standing right on the toes of Altay Bayinde. Havertz is almost on the goal line. Saliba wrestling match with Højlund. He's going to have to stop that, the referee.
I'll tell you what as well, I'm looking at Manchester United defensively from set plays. Arsenal, everyone on the planet, certainly who watch football, understands that Gabriel's the danger man. And they've got Garnacho marking Gabriel. That's just one I'm thinking, surely you can see that and think, well, we're not very good at defending set plays anyway, so you want to put your best header, Harry Maguire or Delict, on him. The fact you've got Garnacho marking Gabriel, it's surprising to me that they've not picked that up.
Well, is Gabriel going to go near post? Martinelli, one arm up into the air. It's some sort of signal. Martinelli to whip this in high, right underneath the crossbar. Gabriel at the back post, headed away by Mazraoui. Did very well. And another cushion header away from danger by Garnacho. Arsenal throw.
They're lucky that they went nowhere near Gabriel, because it was almost like Garnacho gave up on it. He just left it and hoped that someone would head it away, and Mazraoui did.
Live on Talksport, it's 0-0 between Arsenal and Manchester United. Gabriel Jesus was caught, so the Arsenal fans feel. He quickly gets up to his feet as Manchester United look to clear through Kobbie Mainoo. Also linked with a move away in the last week or so, Mainoo. Marcus Rashford not in the Manchester United squad. Fury from the Arsenal fans in front of us, but they do get a throw. Right in front of Ruben Amorim in his dark puffer jacket. And Arsenal, if they score here, the roof will come off at the Emirates Stadium.
It will, but I think this is where Arsenal have to score in this period. They've been the dominant force. It's 64% possession Arsenal have had to 36 for Manchester United, but we've seen it before with Arsenal. If you don't capitalise in these moments, Manchester United at some point will have a period. They've got good players. They're going to have to. So Arsenal need to get themselves in front while they're playing this way.
Arsenal really pumped up today. And Manchester United defending well in the early stages. There's another foul, this time on Jesus. There'll be a yellow card out of the pocket of the referee. Lisandro Martinez can't believe it. Arms outstretched as if to say, well, what did I do? Andy Madley, the referee, finger wagging, and then the yellow card for Lisandro Martinez. And Gabriel Jesus landed really awkwardly, wincing. Right in front of us was where this challenge happened. And he just caught him with the arm, didn't he? The flailing arm, Lisandro Martinez.
Yeah, he did, yeah. I mean, again, without a letter of the law, you'd have to say, yeah, it's a booking, but Gabriel Jesus went down holding his knee. And I was a bit like, really? It looked like it was I wouldn't say a flagrant arm, but it was a wayward arm that caught him just under his chin. But Gabriel Jesus has stayed down for a few minutes now, holding his leg.
In the 30th minute, and there'll be a little bit of time before this free kick is taken. Rangers have a third against St Johnstone in the Scottish Premiership, scored by Mohamed Diamanda. Rangers 3, bottom of the table, St Johnstone 0. Rangers closing the gap on Celtic to 15 points as it stands. Crystal Palace lead Stockport of League One by a goal to nil in the FA Cup. Ipswich 2, Bristol Rovers 0, Newcastle 1, Bromley 1. Live right now on Talksport 2, who will have commentary of Millwall against Dagenham in the third round tomorrow night. Rangers 3, St Johnstone 0, Aberdeen 0, Hearts 0 in the Scottish Premiership. And in the Women's FA Cup, Chelsea, who haven't lost under their head coach appointed in the summer, Sonia Bonpastor. Chelsea 0, Charlton Women 0. And in the Men's FA Cup, Southampton against Swansea is at 4:30. Tottenham 3-0 winners at Tamworth earlier after extra time. Not convincing from Spurs, but they scored 3 in those final 30 minutes. And Hull 1, Doncaster 1. It finished after extra time in the third round. Doncaster winning 5-4 on penalty kicks. The fourth round draw to come, followed by the final word on Talksport. 03717 22344. Gabriel Jesus still being treated, and in the end, Erdegaard helps him to his feet. not happy, is he, Gabriel Jesus?
No, he's not been happy there, because, I mean, he's been down for a while. It seems like it's been I thought it was just maybe a stray arm, but clearly he's hurt something else. His knee, obviously, we know that this is his first, I think, appearance in the FA Cup for Arsenal as well. Still yet to register a goal for Gabriel Jesus, but he's been a bit sharper. He's been a bit sharper in the last couple of weeks, and Arsenal are going to need that. There's all this talk about not carrying enough goal threat. Well, his form's got to come to the forefront. We know he's a good player, but his numbers have to improve. He has to get himself scoring goals more consistently.
Fantastic record, as you say, Darren, in the FA Cup for Manchester City. 10 goals in 20 FA Cup appearances. Arsenal, the 14 times winners. Ødegaard delivers high left-footed. Here comes the goalkeeper, and he only half got there, Altay Bayindir, in front of Havertz and Timber, and in the end he's able to sprawl on the loose ball. I think there's a nervousness about Manchester United every time it's pumped in his direction.
Here it is, yes, good delivery. I think the referee gave a foul for a block, but you're right, I still don't think Arsenal up until this point have got the delivery right yet. I mean, they've not had them in the right areas, but where they're clipping the ball in, there's not enough power on it, not enough pace, and it's almost dropping a little bit far out from goal. It's not the delivery we're used to seeing from Arsenal. So at the minute, Arsenal, they are the better side, 63% possession, still the ones taking the game to Manchester United, but they still haven't worked the goalkeeper enough yet.
I think the intensity of the play has matched that of a semi-final or a final. It doesn't feel like a third round tie today. Only one of these two most successful clubs in the history of the FA Cup can go through. It's the 243rd meeting in any competition between Arsenal and Manchester United today, and it's 0-0, live and exclusive on Talksport. 32 minutes have been played. Arsenal clatter the ball high downfield with Saliba. Harry Maguire with the towering header for Manchester United, all in dark blue. Arsenal playing all in white today, from left to right, as has been the case over recent third round matches in the FA Cup over recent seasons. Arsenal's No More Red campaign, all about trying to reduce knife crime and youth violence in the community and in wider London. Arsenal with Raya, all in bright yellow and orange, the goalkeeper, on the edge of his own penalty area. There were one or two rumours that Neto might start today, never really looked likely. David Raya's form has been so good. And Neto yet to make his Arsenal debut, though he is on the bench.
I always find that bizarre as well, Joe, why goalkeepers need a rest, because Arsenal have conceded less goals than anyone in the Premier League. They are rock solid at the back. The goalkeeper, Raya, yes, he's been superb since he signed for Arsenal. Does he really need a rest? Is that an area you really need to change to freshen it up?
Doesn't feel like it, does it? Arsenal have good possession at the moment, out on the far side there, left with Gabriel. He has to go back to the lip of the centre circle and Saliba, and he has to turn away under pressure from the big number 9 Rasmus Højlund and roll it all the way back to Raya. Raya thunders the ball high downfield. Gabriel Jesus, he's chested it down in the area. Nusayr Mazraoui hooks the ball out of play. Manchester United look for the flag. It wasn't forthcoming. Arsenal have a throw level with the edge of the 18-yard box. Quickly taken. Martinelli, 10 yards from the dead ball line. Reverse ball, right-footed. Good header away by Harry Maguire. Great sense of expectation whenever Arsenal have the ball in the final third. Manchester United trying to counter. They can do so with Bruno Fernandes. Poor ball. Straight to Lewis Skelly. Let's get team news ahead of the 4:30 kickoff in the FA Cup at St Mary's. Here's Ian Abrahams.
2 changes for Southampton. It includes Ryan Manning coming in against his former club. 4 changes for Swansea, who drew 1-1 with West Brom last time out.
Ian, thank you. Foul on Saliba this time. For the umpteenth time, the Arsenal fans in front of us on their feet. They take the free kick quickly. Kai Havertz, right end edge of the penalty area. Jinks in field, finds Ødegaard. Corner of the 18-yard box. Ødegaard all left foot here. Sets up Timber on the overlap. High dink cross, looping to the back post. Jesus trying to get underneath it. It's gone away as far as Gabby Martinelli. Still 0-0. 10 minutes of the first half remaining, plus added time.
I just can't see Arsenal scoring from that type of delivery. It's going to have to be along the floor or cutback, because when you start clipping the ball in there, you've got Kai Havertz is out here, you've got Maguire, you've got De Ligt. These are 2 big, 6'3", 6'4" defenders. You're not going to score with that type of delivery.
Højlund went down for Manchester United, but the advantage played because Garnacho's got the ball. Only Garnacho upfield, left edge of the penalty area, angle tight, and he rifled it towards the near post, and it was a simple and straightforward take for David Raya. Maybe it's a Manchester United with a newfound resolve after an excellent performance away at Anfield in the Premier League. Last time out, they had 4 defeats on the spin before that. Great ball, Odegaard cuts apart the defence. Martinelli, the angle tight, across goal, and it's blocked. Well defended, Maguire, and De Ligt sweeps it further clear.
Great movement from Gabriel Martinelli again, but again, he takes the wrong option, because rather than just hit it first time, as he gets rolled in, his touch took him away from goal and narrowed down the angle. If he just swivels and hits it, he might catch Bayinda off guard. And when you hit it quick and you hit it early, the keepers are not set for it. So Martinelli there, when he takes his touch away from goal, to beat a goalkeeper from that distance was always going to be difficult. As it came to him, he should have just swiveled and hit it, and that would have been the better opportunity. But again, it almost feels like at the minute, Martinelli's making the good runs, and he's the one who looks most threatening for Arsenal at the minute.
Well, do not take your listening ears away from this. The pace is just tremendous. Unrelenting at the moment. As Andrea Martinez slows the game down for Manchester United on the halfway line. Mikel Arteta patrolling the edge of the technical area, pacing up and down. Martinez wearing number 6 on a near freezing afternoon here in North London. Arsenal smuggle the ball up to Odegaard, who's had some lovely touches so far. This time, though, he's blocked off by the industrious Ugarte. Ugarte and Menu, that midfield too, and there's elements of chemistry that Manchester United are starting to see. And again, they start with the same back 3 for the 3rd consecutive game, the first time that's happened under Ruben Amorim.
Well, it's about relationships, and I think you can see now that he wants to play Ugarte and Menu in the middle of the park. I mean, you only get the consistency and the best out of those two by playing them together all the time. We've seen Casemiro, we've seen Eriksen together. I think it's quite clear these are the two that he wants to start with, so you have to keep playing them just to get that chemistry. I mean, he's only just got here, Ruben Amorim, and he's probably still trying to figure out a lot of the pieces in this Manchester United side, but having those two fit and playing alongside each other as much as possible, that will help them in the long run.
In the 37th minute, and 0-0 it remains. Here goes Mazraoui. He's away down the right-hand side, through in the middle for Manchester United. Mazraoui back for Bruno Fernandes. Was he fouled right on the edge of the box? No. Manchester United are furious. The bench up out of their seats. Amorim turns away in disgust. The Arsenal fans feel he went down too easily. Nothing given ultimately by the referee.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, I think Bruno Fernandes was more worried about the contact, which there wasn't any, because I think it's Gabriel Jesus. I think he almost jumps out the way, and Bruno Fernandes tries to kind of con the referee with that type of foul, and I genuinely think it's not a foul.
Oh, he's been booked, Bruno Fernandes. He lost his boot, then he picked it up and threw it to the ground in a show of petulance, right in front of the referee. Bruno Fernandes has got to be careful. Remember, sent off twice already this season, 3 times if you include the red card against Spurs that was rescinded, and again, you wonder about his discipline as a captain in these sorts of moments. Meanwhile, the Arsenal player down in the penalty area, I think, might well end up needing a stretcher here. There's another goal in the FA Cup at Portman Road. Here's Mike Sewell.
And another goal for Ipswich Town. They lead Bristol Rovers by 3-0. This one scored by Jack Taylor as Rovers tried to push up down in the centre back area. Taylor was left unattended, and he just put the ball home to make it Ipswich 3, Bristol Rovers 0.
So no sign of a shock at Portman Road in the FA Cup. Very few shocks at this 3rd round stage across the season so far. Raheem Sterling is stripped and ready to go in the all-white kit of Arsenal today, and Arsenal are going to be forced into a substitution here with 39 minutes played.
Do you know, for me, that would be the right decision. I think if Gabriel Jesus goes off, and you hope he's okay, you wish him well, because it looked a little bit innocuous, but it looked quite painful. You need runners in behind. I think Martinelli's doing it really, really well, but he can't be the only one who's making that run. You know what Kai Havertz is going to do, and when Raheem Sterling's at his best is when he comes off the line and he runs inside, in between the 2 fullbacks or in between the centre halves, the little slip one down the side. That's where you see the best of Raheem Sterling. So this substitution for me makes more sense than bringing on someone like a Leandro Trossard.
We've got little monitors in our commentary positions. We can watch the replays as Gabriel Jesus is stretchered off, and his afternoon ends in disappointment. He has really rediscovered his goal-scoring form for Arsenal over recent weeks, but his day will end much earlier than expected, and Raheem Sterling, a 2019 FA Cup winner with Manchester City, only 1 goal since joining Arsenal, is the player who's going to take to the field. When you look at it again on the monitor, Darren, has Jesus got hold of the shirt of Bruno Fernandes? Are Manchester United right to be unhappy that they didn't get a free kick?
Looking at the replay, it almost looks like he tries to jump out the way. I think there's slight contact with the back of Bruno Fernandes' heel, and he takes his boot off, but I don't think it's a foul. I think he genuinely tries to get out of the way, and you can quite clearly see from Gabriel Jesus when he comes down, I think it's his knee.
Well, an extraordinary day of drama so far in the FA Cup third round. Tamworth took Tottenham to extra time. Spurs scored 3 times to go through. A nervy day for Ange Postecoglou's team in the Midlands, as Arsenal 0, Manchester United 0. The game restarts with 5 minutes to go. Gabriel Jesus really upset as he was stretchered off. He had his hands to his head, and hopefully it's not a particularly bad injury, but when a player reacts like that as he goes down the tunnel on a stretcher, you have to wonder.
Yeah, you do, and I think Mikel Arteta, first and foremost, you wish him well when you hope it's not too serious. But again, on the flip side, it's another injury in an attacking area for Arsenal. I mean, they've lost Saka, I think it looks like, for the next few months. Now Gabriel Jesus, you're hoping that's not a long-term one. Arsenal are almost running out of options, and you start to think, are they going to have to? I know they spoke about not really doing too much in January, but that's another body gone in the attacking areas. Are they going to have to go into that January transfer window?
Waneri out as well. Mikel Arteta has said bringing in someone who can impact the team instantly is really hard in January, but he does admit the situation, circumstances have changed. Arsenal, surely the injury to Gabriel Jesus underlines that they do need players in this transfer window. Ball is hooked over the top. Reverse ball inside right channel by Dalot for Manchester United. An unchallenged back header from Saliba to Raya for Arsenal. There'll be a bit of added time then at the end of this first half. 3.5 minutes of normal time to go. 0-0 it remains. And Martin Keown will be on White and Jordan tomorrow from 10 on Talksport. Emmanuel Petit, part of our team for the North London derby next week. Here come Arsenal. Mars Lewis Skelly inside left channel, waits for the run of Martinelli in behind. He threaded the ball up the inside left. Mazraoui got back, ever present for Manchester United this season, bar one game, and he's turned the ball behind for a corner to Arsenal.
Yeah, right idea again from Miles Lewis Skelly, getting the ball, and Martinelli with that sharp movement just hugged the touchline, then last minute bursting behind Mazraoui, and it just took a little nick, I think it was off the lick, and goes out for a corner. But again, that chemistry starting to play dividend between Miles Lewis Skelly and Gabriel Martinelli.
Chelsea women 1, Charlton 0 in the Women's FA Cup. Mayra Ramirez has got the goal. We'll bring you 2 live commentaries from the 4th round of the Women's FA Cup as and when that takes place. Everything covered on the Talksport network, as ever, as you'd expect. All the football all of the time. Arsenal have got a corner, and they're crowding the goalkeeper Altay Bayindir. He'll be right-footed and in, swinging from Martinelli. Can barely see Altay in his green goalkeeping top, shrouded in amongst all of the white Arsenal shirts. And the referee's going to go across to speak to Saliba. He's looking at a crowd. It's hard to tell exactly who he's talking to. I think it is Saliba who he was pointing at, standing right on the goal line, right next to Gabriel and Havertz. Real test of the Manchester United goalkeeper here in front of the travelling fans.
He'll give a foul now. Whenever he spoke to someone on the goalkeeper, he ultimately gives a foul about 3 seconds later.
Martinelli to whip it in, high into the 6-yard box. Goalkeeper Altay catches it well, high above his head. Good goalkeeping.
Still haven't got the delivery right. I mean, it's great from Bayindir coming and getting it, coming and claiming it. But for Martinelli, gets too much air on it, too much lift, and it gives the opportunity for the goalkeeper to come and get it. And also have had 3 or 4 this first half, but still, up until this point, haven't got that delivery right.
Back they go to the goalkeeper again. Altay Bayindir clears left-footed. Thunderous ball downfield by Saliba. More in hope than expectation, and a header away by Matthijs de Ligt. Now Bruno Fernandes midway inside his own half. Early ball up the middle. Rasmus Højlund is chasing. He's been blocked off here by Saliba. Garnacho to the left. Højlund carries the ball to the edge of the penalty area, onto the left foot. Finds Kobbie Mainoo with the shot right-footed. That's charged down well by Marino. Now Martinelli scampers forward up the far side, the left, into the final minute of normal time at the end of the first half. It's 0-0. Martinelli, he's raced forward 40 yards. He takes on de Ligt, who does well. Well done, de Ligt. Steers the ball clear, and there are big cheers from the Manchester United fans.
Yeah, good defending, but I think Martinelli, he's got that lovely bit of grass in front of him. He's done the hard part, which is get rid of Ugarte. Just push it past de Ligt. He couldn't live with you. But again, him carrying the ball, he's been Arsenal's best attacking option so far this first half.
First field touches for Sterling having come on. Right of centre, near side of the field. Odegaard's touch square to Jorginho. Everybody in a Manchester United shirt back behind the ball at the moment. Their dark blue change kit today. Havertz, the leggy Havertz, gets it back from Odegaard, and now dinked over the top by Jurrien Timber. Header away by Lisandro Martinez for Manchester United, and then there's a poor challenge by Timber, shoving the back of Mainoo, and Manchester United have a free kick. And actually, you have to say, in the first 45 minutes, Manchester United have rarely conceded, the offside goal aside, which was a clear offside. haven't conceded a clear-cut opportunity, Darren Bent.
No, they haven't. They've defended really, really well, and even on that occasion they're Arsenal are relying on Timber with a pass that's not really on, but he's more hopeful than anything, just thinking it into that area. But you're right, as dominant as Arsenal have been with in terms of possession, they haven't really created anything other than the Martinelli offside chance where he goes a little bit too early. They haven't worked the goalkeeper nowhere near enough. So if you're Ruben Amorim going at half-time, you're going, okay, because you'd expect at some point Manchester United to be better this second half.
Dreadful kick out from the goalkeeper Altay by India as we go into 5 added minutes at the end of the first half. They're not happy with their goalkeeper, Manchester United, because Bruno Fernandes and Ugarte had to come across to make a foul. Arsenal take the resulting free kick, lofted forward by Jorginho. Martinelli's touch takes him away from goal, out towards the near side, the right wing position. Lisandro Martinez knocks it out of play. That's the kind of mistake from a goalkeeper that puts the team under pressure again straight away.
Yeah, really poor clearance from him.
Ødegaard, 1 or 2 yards from the edge of the box, he's fouled by Martinez. Hands go to his head. Free kick to Arsenal right of centre. Arsenal fans asking for a second yellow card, a minute into 5 added.
I think that's harsh on Martinez. I don't think he does a lot wrong there, if I'm honest. I think Martin Ødegaard tries a little flick and he reads the situation. Yeah, maybe look at the replay, might get a slight, if I'm being generous, touch on the ball. But I mean, it's again, Arsenal playing into areas where there's no real space. They're almost playing into, he quite clearly gets the ball, to be fair. I think they're playing into areas where Manchester United are so strong. You've got Martinez in there, you've got Ugarte, you've got Mainu. There's no space to be too intricate in and amongst that midfield area. You've got to go wide and try and fashion some crosses into the box. But at the minute, they've been a bit predictable going forward.
Mikel Arteta's only silverware as Arsenal manager, the FA Cup in 2020, and of course, much greater expectation on Arsenal these days than there was that year. Now the angle is right of centre, well right of the edge of the D. Can Ødegaard bend this in? Is the shot on, or realistically, Darren Bent, here in first half stoppage time, do Arsenal look to deliver the ball into the box?
I think from this area you can shoot, because you're just outside the box, just off centre, about, you say, 5 yards outside the edge of the box. I think it's a left footer, but I've got no doubts about that. Can you generate the power to beat a goalkeeper from there? And if you don't think you can, then you've got to create an angle. Whether you roll it across the 18-yard box and let someone have a strike on it. To score from there directly will take a monumental hit. But Martin Ødegaard, he's got that technique, he's got that quality. But I just wonder if it's a little bit too off-centre to get a clean strike on it.
He's standing over it menacingly here, Ødegaard. Sterling the right-footed option. Angled quite against Arsenal. Arsenal have got 3 players in wide, standing in front of the Manchester United wall, of which there are 3 players in that defensive wall. Arsenal 0, Manchester United 0. Martin Ødegaard, left-footed, goes for goal. It's miles over the top, sails into the Manchester United end, away to our right.
Yeah, poor free kick, poor technique from Martin Ødegaard there. I never really felt like he had the confidence that he was going to ever score that free kick. But again, that's almost been typical of Arsenal, getting themselves into good areas and then choosing the wrong option. It just hasn't been there yet.
Headed downfield for Arsenal towards Mikel Merino. Kobbie Mainoo in the way for Manchester United. Now Højlund on the halfway line. Out to the left and Bruno Fernandes. Lofted ball over the top, first time right-footed. Chasing is Mainoo. Here comes Gabriel trying to shepherd the ball behind and away for a goal kick. He does that. We can get half-time at Selhurst Park in the FA Cup with Talksport Charlotte Richardson.
It's Crystal Palace 1, Stockport 0. Eberici Eze's neat finish inside the box. The difference between these two teams after a tough start. The League One side very much in this tie at half-time. Palace 1, Stockport 0.
They've reached the break at Ipswich 2. Here's Mike Sewell.
Ipswich 3, Bristol Rovers 0. No alarms, no surprises. The Premier League side in complete control. Calvin Phillips and the Jacks, Clark and Taylor with the goals. Rovers have had 1 opportunity in the first half. Ipswich 3, Bristol Rovers 0.
It's half-time at St James's Park as well. Newcastle 1, Bromley 1, live on Talksport 2. Bromley took the lead. What chance of a shock in the northeast today? Here come Manchester United with Garnacho, with a minute of added time to go at the end of the first half. He's committed a foul on Lewis Skelly. Free kick to Arsenal, and now Ødegaard has gone down. Ødegaard now, is he holding his ankle possibly? Sitting down inside the centre circle. Real concern for Arsenal here.
But it's been question mark for whether he's been fit since he came back from that initial ankle injury. I mean, he's up now, which is a big bonus, but I think it's one of those where if he's carrying anything or anything's a little bit sore and you feel like it's at risk, you've got to get him off. I just don't think Arsenal have got enough bodies and certainly quality to replace someone like an Ødegaard. So if there's any kind of thoughts that he might be injured, you're going to have to get him off.
Missed all of September and October injured, did Ødegaard. He's moving a little gingerly. We'll keep an eye on him. He's not moving with the freedom off the ball at the moment that you'd expect. Arsenal have possession, but that's one for Mikel Arteta certainly to think about at half-time. Chelsea Women 2, Charlton 0 in the Women's FA Cup. So Gabriel with the high crossfield ball for Arsenal. Header infield by Sterling, not a good one, a looping header. Easy for Lisandro Martinez to nod that further clear. We've had the 5 minutes of added time at the end of the first half. 0-0 it remains. Lisandro Martinez steers the ball squared in field. Ugarte collects possession. Deep inside his own half. Good ball, angled to the right, and Noussair Mazraoui with the gloves on. Mazraoui, formerly of Ajax, out to his right, even further wide is Garnacho, chips it over the top. Mazraoui, inside right, into the area, can't reach it on the slide, and he actually ends up flying into the advertising hoardings, and it's half-time. So 0-0, tremendous pace to the game, first of all. Arsenal, certainly in the early stages, attacking with great intensity, and the biggest moment of the game so far, Gabriel Martinelli's goal after a well-worked move, rightly ruled out thanks to the offside flag. That aside, Altay by India has not really had a serious save to make, the Manchester United goalkeeper. United's best effort for their part, Kobbie Mainoo's drive from 25 yards, held by David Raya. But the big blow for Arsenal, yet another injury to a forward player in the first half, with Gabriel Jesus having to be stretched off. It's certainly got the atmosphere and the enterprise that you'd want from a third round tie from both teams, but no goals so far. Arsenal 0, Manchester United 0.
Hugh was and Crotty inside the Emirates Stadium alongside Joe Shannon and Darren Bent. Darren, let's get straight into it. Arsenal really took the centre of the ring, if you like to use a boxing analogy, in that first half without landing any significant blows. Why do you think that was?
Yeah, I think the movement's been quite flat. I mean, if it's not Martinelli who's running in behind and trying to make something happen, it's everything's to feet. They're not really moving the Manchester United backline as well. It's been quite comfortable for Maguire, De Ligt and Martinez. The only time they've looked a little bit uncomfortable is when they've had Martinelli and they've had runners running beyond them. So I think, as you said there, right, you're 100% spot on. The way the game started, Arsenal did take the centre of the ring, but just haven't thrown enough punches. They haven't really answered too many questions, and Manchester United defensively have been comfortable.
It's one of those where I can't tell whether either side's playing well or badly, because Manchester United will be fairly comfortable with the way that you said, defended, but also, you know, it's 0-0, it's a cup game, they're clearly still in it, even though they haven't produced anything in an attacking sense. Arsenal have had a lot of possession and territory in the game, haven't produced the chances yet either. I don't know if either will be happy or disappointed. What do you think the two managers are feeling?
I think Mikel Arteta will be more disappointed than Ruben Amorim. I mean, they would have expected to show up here, Arsenal start really fast, cause them problems, create opportunities, test the goalkeeper, and it hasn't really happened. So if you're Ruben Amorim, at half-time you're going, okay, well, listen, it's 0-0. We haven't seen the best of Manchester United yet. I don't think Højlund's got himself in the game, although the service hasn't been great. Garnacho's been non-existent a little bit. So I think Ruben Amorim can go, okay, we could be a little bit braver now in the second half, maybe take the game to Arsenal a little bit, send maybe one or two more bodies forward, and really try and make them defend now, because so far that first half, no one really did anything, really, other than that Martinelli chance that was offside. I can't remember an opportunity, and even Arsenal set plays, which we assume, because they have been so good, certainly across Europe, they've been one of the best sides at set plays and scoring from corners. They haven't quite got that delivery right either, so it's been quite a cagey and quite, I won't say non-existent game, but not too much has happened.
Yeah, I'm sure Mikel Arteta, though, is already sending a little text to the sporting director at Arsenal, because they need help in an attacking sense. Gabriel Jesus stretchered off, injured in that first half. We know Bukayo Saka missing at the moment. Martin Ødegaard holding his ankle just at the end of that first half as well. That will be a concern. It will be a concern, and you're right, he's going to have to, because, I mean, for the amount of attacking options that Arsenal have got, how many of them are really in form? Do you know what I mean? You've got Kai Havertz, who's got 7 goals this season. Martinelli's got 5 goals. You've lost Saka now for a number of months. They need some help up there. I mean, those numbers there are not going to get it done, unfortunately. And when you're expecting these players to play every single week, you need to mix it up. So I do think Arsenal, I won't say they're in crisis, because they're not, but they certainly need help, certainly those attacking areas. We shall see if in an attacking sense either side can get things going in the second half. As Joe Shannon pointed out, has been a pretty furious pace here at the Emirates, goalless between Arsenal and Manchester United. Let's check in on the FA Cup third round elsewhere. Let's head to Selhurst Park and get the latest from Talksport, Charlotte Richardson.
It's Crystal Palace 1, Stockport 0. Eberici Eze's early opener, the difference at the break. Eze finding the bottom corner with a neat finish just inside the area. Palace dominated on the ball, and despite going behind after just 4 minutes, Stockport refused to shrink under pressure, finding their feet. Carl Wootton had a great chance to equalise. A neat pullback alongside the 6-yard area fell perfectly for Stockport's top goal scorer, but the opportunity went begging. Watton has scored in every round and beat his marker in the air as a cross was whipped in from the left-hand side. The header nodded high and wide of the crossbar. All to play for second half. Crystal Palace 1, Stockport 0.
No real chance of an upset at Portman Road. Mike Sewell.
Not at all. Ipswich 3, Bristol Rovers 0. The Premier League side in total control from the outset, though it took until the 18th minute for Ipswich to break through when the impressive Calvin Phillips steered in a low shot from 25 yards to score his first club goal in almost 3.5 years. Rovers then allowed the Jacks, Clark and Taylor too much space in the penalty area to make it 2 and 3-0 respectively. The visitors' only chance of the half was handed to them when Ipswich goalkeeper Ari Murich's poor ball out of defence went straight to Ruel Sotirio, who forced a retreating Murich to save with his feet. Round 4 beckons. Ipswich 3, Bristol Rovers 0.
First half to be proud of over on Talksport 2 from League 2 side Bromley ahead after just 8 minutes against Premier League side Newcastle at St James's Park. That is the score, 1-1 at the break. You can get Talksport 2 on the DAB radio, on your smart speaker as well. Just ask your smart speaker for Talksport 2 and of course download the Talksport app. Sunday's final FA Cup third round game comes at 4:30 p.m. Premier League's bottom side Southampton hosting Championship playoff chasers Swansea. Ian Abrahams will be reporting for Talksport.
And Saints make 2 changes after that lamentable 5-0 defeat here to Brentford last week. They had to go strong today and make a real effort, and they have. Only Manning for Wood and Fernandez for Onuachu are the changes. So Ramsdale's in goal, Holwood, Bellis, Bednarek and Manning probably a back 3. Manning playing against his former club. Bree and Walker Peters will be the overlapping fullbacks. Okachukwu and also Aribo in the centre of midfield, and then Dibbling and Sulemana probably either side of Fernandez. Swansea are on the cusp of maybe getting into playoff contention. 4 changes today for them, including a first starting goal for John McLaughlin, signed from Rangers. Also out, Harry Darling replaced by Norton, and Pierre Harris comes in for Liam Cullen. Disappointing, he's not seeing him starting today. McLaughlin in goal. It'll be Key, Christie, Norton and Timon across the back. Franco and Pierre Harris probably a 2 in midfield. Then Ronald and M either side of Bianchi up front. Swansea coming here with nothing to lose. Southampton, who are pretty much already relegated, Hugh, need a cup run and need to win this one. It's Southampton against Swansea, and we start at 4:30.
Moose, thank you very much. A little bit earlier on, League 2 side Doncaster Rovers knocked out Championship team Hull City 5-4 on penalties. It finished 1-1 after 120 minutes. There was almost a huge upset. Well, I say almost. Tamworth didn't score, but they ran it close against Tottenham Hotspur, who just about managed to get the job done in extra time. It finished 3-0 live on Talksport. Spurs boss Ange Postecoglou has been speaking to Adrian Durham.
Yeah, look, it was a challenging tie. Obviously, credit to Tamworth. They made it difficult for us. Obviously, the pitch makes it a little bit more challenging to kind of play the way we want to. But the boys, for the most part, were professional about it. They maintained their discipline, which was the main thing, and eventually overpowered them.
Is it one of those where you just have a look at Tamworth? They're part-time. It's a non-league setup, 5th tier of English football, and think, wow, there's some depth in English football.
Yeah, look, I think I said yesterday, that's the game of football, it's a great evener. No other sport can, even up a competition like football does. It's still difficult to score, they keep it, did a really good job for them, kept them in the game, and as I said, that's the beauty of football.
The cynics might say, 90 minutes, Premier League elite against 5th tier, you should be getting the job done. Would you criticise your players in any way for that?
No, not at all. As I said, we're through the next round, and it was a challenging day, but we got the job done.
And would you say it's not ideal preparation for a North London derby coming up midweek?
No, I think it's decent preparation. We had a good game. We won, so that's important thing.
Well, Adrian also spoke to the Tamworth boss Andy Peakes, who reflected on what was still a memorable afternoon for the club.
When I saw the team sheet and the subs bench, I thought it was going to be a tough afternoon, but I thought the boys were absolutely awesome from the first minute to the last. They're obviously disappointed in the end to lose. Of course you are. You're always disappointed, but they can go home proud. They've had family members there, kids, whatever, and they've done brilliant for everyone. And that's all I ask of them, week in, week out. Certainly on an occasion like this, you've got a full ground. You just want to give a good account of yourself. You don't want to be 2 or 3 down in the first 10 minutes. It comes a long afternoon. But I thought we started really well, and I think we're in the game.
Also, just to bring you up to date with the scores today in the Scottish Premiership, goalless at half-time between Aberdeen and Hearts. Rangers lead St Johnstone by 3-0. A number of games in the Women's FA Cup fourth round as well. The latest, Wolves lead Cheltenham 2-0 in the 90th minute. In the 89th, Rugby Borough lead London Bees 6-0, and Chelsea 2-0 up at half-time against Charlton. Villa play Bristol Rovers at 5:45. And rugby this afternoon, Toulon beat Harlequins 33-21. Bristol at Trail Benetton 17-14 at the break, and La Rochelle 6, Leinster 4 on 40 minutes in that one. Bath taking on Clermont from 5:30 as well. Here at the Emirates, the two most successful sides in FA Cup history haven't yet delivered a performance befitting their huge status. At the break, Arsenal 0, Manchester United 0.
The Emirates FA Cup, live on Talksport with Carly.
What a driver, what a goal! Oh, yes!
The official beer partner of the Emirates FA Cup. 18 plus, always drink responsibly.
Hi, Mum.
Hey, Dad. Just at the park.
The gig!
I'm coming out the festival.
Just waiting for the train.
Now.
I thought you said 8.
9.
10 more minutes, okay? Yeah, I'm checking the bus time. Dropping a pin.
Ordering a taxi. Map says
20 minutes.
15 minutes.
10 minutes.
Join EE1 and keep your kids connected. No compromises.
Mum, I'm back.
Back.
What are you watching?
Got time for a game. Come on, budge up.
I wasn't that late.
Add EE Mobile and unlock exclusive savings on unlimited data SIMs.
Max speed 10 megabits per second, 30-day term. Monthly price increases by £1.50 on 31st of March each year. Terms apply.
With so many holiday homes on Booking.com, there are so many Tina Feys I could be. I could book a beach house and be relaxed, Tina.
Could someone bring me everything, thank you?
I could book a ski cabin and be sporty, Tina.
I'm gonna skip the Black Diamond and do the hot chocolate run.
Or maybe I'll book a villa in Italy and be Vespa, Tina.
Do I look cool on it? Because I feel cool.
With so many holiday homes, you can book whoever you want to be. Booking.com, Booking.yeah.
EI, but look, remember when you thought fish really had fingers? Understandable mistake? Spotticar, manufacturer approved used cars. No spots. Visit spotticar.co.uk today.
Hi Gemini, the football transfer window's open. How are my team's stats looking?
Well, your team definitely has a lot of star power.
Do you think we're going to have a good season?
It's going to come down to consistency and a little bit of luck on your side.
I'll let you know if we win.
I'll be keeping an eye on the scores.
Yeah, me too.
Now we're talking. Transfer to Google Pixel 9 with Gemini Live today. Sequences shortened. Gemini Live available for ages 18+. Internet required. Results are illustrative. Check responses for accuracy. Feature and account compatibility limitations apply.
Santander's Edge current account gives cashback to reward customers.
Do they also reward treachery?
What? This contains the names of people who have their salary paid into
our rival's current account.
Nicholas!
They give me cashback on my big supermarket shop.
You'll be hearing from our lawyers.
Finding your edge with the Santander Edge current account.
18+, £3 monthly fee to maintain the account. Paying £500 a month excluding internal transfers and have 2 active direct debits. Cashback exclusions apply.
EasyJet Holidays Big Orange Sale is now on. Get up to £400 off package holidays at our hand-picked 4- and 5-star hotels. Book now for only a £60 per person deposit and get summer sorted. Search EasyJet Holidays. Get out there. Book by 11 p.m. the 4th of the 2nd, 25. Minimum spend required. Final balance due 28 days before travel. ATOL protected. T's and C's apply.
Where can you get the latest breaking sports news delivered with the laser-like accuracy of Michael Van Gogh? And hear passionate opinions debated with the confident dexterity of Virgil van Dijk.
The Liverpool fans celebrate.
Answer on the radio show that's got the nation's sports fans buzzing like a Van de Graaff generator. Early breakfast with Shabana Hearn. Weekday mornings from 5 on Talksport with Adrian Flux Van Insurance. Insurance for the individual. Search Adrian Flux Van Insurance to find out more.
Live football as intense as we can legally broadcast it.
What a turn, what a goal!
FA Cup Game Day exclusive on Talksport.
Well, with 27 FA Cup wins between them, maybe we expected Arsenal and Manchester United to go to war at the Emirates this afternoon. It certainly got our attention, but a goal would really bring things to life. Let's take a look at the halftime highlights in partnership with Carling.
Emirates FA Cup halftime highlights on Talksport with Carling. Get your mates together and enjoy the match with Carling, the beer of football. 18 plus, always drink responsibly.
Welcome to North London. These two the best that the FA Cup has to offer. 27 competition titles between them. Lovely trick by Odegaard into the path of Jesus. Down the middle by a deflection. Martinelli's in! Martinelli finishes! But the flag goes up.
looking at the replays there, you can quite clearly see he's about 2 yards offside.
Getting tasty here at the Emirates. Of course, two clubs with such a great history.
Arsenal 60% possession in the first half, only 4 attempts at goal, none of those on target. 3 for Manchester United, who had 2 on target. We did see the ball in the back of the net. Gabriel Martinelli very fairly ruled out the goal for offside. So that was it in that first half. We certainly need some more, and we will get it because we need to find a winner this afternoon. Manchester United already back out, so that was all thanks to Carling.
Emirates FA Cup half-time highlights on Talksport with Carling, the official beer partner of the Emirates FA Cup. 18 plus, always drink responsibly.
A reminder, Newcastle United 1, Bromley 1 continues over on Talksport 2 right now. And remember, the 4th round draw will be live here on Talksport at the conclusion of events at the Emirates, which could well go to extra time and penalties. And you get the feeling that might well happen given what we saw in that opening 45 minutes. Arsenal back out onto the pitch, fans pouring into their seats. We'll pray for something a little bit more special than what we got in that opening period. At the break in the FA Cup 3rd round, live and exclusively on TalkSport, it is Arsenal 0, Manchester United 0. The second half with the former Tottenham striker and England striker Darren Bent, well, you are, Spurs legend, many say, and our very own Joe Shannon.
I don't know, he's well liked here. He's well liked in these parts. Every time we're here, in fact, before, sometimes during, and certainly after the game, they're asking for selfies and photos. So hopefully that'll continue.
To be fair, the Spurs legend shout from you was a bit far, but you know, we'll leave that for another day.
You're not here for the North London derby, are you? That'll be interesting. Emmanuel Petit will be part of our team as we go around the grounds and next Wednesday and Tuesday for all the Premier League goals as they go in. But of course it's the FA Cup that's our focus. Ødegaard back out for the second half for Arsenal. They're unchanged. So too are Manchester United. Arsenal looked the more likely overall. It was quite a combative first half. 12 Manchester United fouls, but they righted it as the second half begins and the game resumes. Arsenal playing from right to left in the second half towards the North Bank, all in white again today in the FA Cup. Arsenal's all white strip and Manchester United in dark blue playing from left to right. So I remind you of the two teams in just a moment as dozens of Arsenal fans walk past our commentary position to the right of the halfway line to take their seats for the second 45. Arsenal have a throw level with the edge of the Manchester United penalty area, again away on that far side of the field, and Jurrien Timber has gone across to take it. Throw towards Sterling, down by the dead ball line, hooks it up into the air. Havertz was jumping, Matthijs de Ligt is there to poke it clear for Manchester United. Chasing is Rasmus Højlund, the ball is swept upfield by Gabriel, who got there first for Arsenal. The first half with few chances. Arsenal had a goal ruled out due to offside. Mainoo's shot from distance testing David Raya, but we're still yet to see a clear-cut opportunity, Darren Bell.
Yeah, we are. I think Arsenal started off well, but didn't test the keeper nowhere near enough. I mean, Manchester United sitting in this 3-4-3. I feel like every single time they play in this formation, they're getting better and better at it. It was always going to take a little bit of time. Arsenal in that 4-3-3 type system, but as you said, they started off really well the first half, Arsenal, but just didn't test the goalkeeper enough. I'm sure Mikel Arteta will be saying more of the same, but at some point in that final third, you've got to test the goalkeeper.
Jorginho gives the ball away. Sloppy pass straight to Bruno Fernandes, right in front of Mikel Arteta, the Arsenal boss. Bruno Fernandes with a ball up the far side, the near side rather, the right-hand channel for Arsenal. Gabriel gets across easily to send it back to Raya. So it's Raya in goal, Timber, Saliba, Gabriel and Lewis Skelly at the back for Arsenal. Ødegaard, Jorginho and Marino. Sterling on for the injured Jesus in the first half, and Martinelli in the other wing position. Havertz up front. Arsenal's need for a centre forward, so difficult to find in January in particular, underlined I think again in the first half, while Manchester United by India in goal. De Ligt, Maguire, Martinez the centre halves, Dalot and Mazraoui are the full backs. I actually think the two wing backs have switched wings for the second half. Mazraoui's gone to the left, Dalot to the right, both comfortable in that situation. Ugarte and Mainoo in the middle, Garnacho, Højlund and Bruno Fernandes the front three. I'll give you both sets of subs as soon as I can. Arsenal have possession on the halfway line. William Saliba now, square to the feet of Jorginho inside the centre circle. 8,000 Manchester United fans on their feet at the clock end away to our right-hand side. In the third round of the FA Cup, on quite a dramatic day so far. Tottenham needing 3 goals in extra time to beat the part-timers Tamworth, as Manchester United win it back half the pitch. Here is Rasmus Højlund, 35 yards out, jinks away from Jorginho, finds Mainu, who just takes up possession in a central area. Newcastle 2, Bromley 1 is the latest score. Anthony Gordon from the penalty spot, so Newcastle have turned it around to lead the League 2 side, Bromley, by 2-1. It's live right now on Talksport 2. You can download our free app and swipe between both stations at your leisure if you want to be across all of the action. Live and exclusive on Talksport here at the Emirates, with Timber in possession for Arsenal. That Manchester United attack, very fleeting, came to nothing. Gabriel with the angled ball out to the left, and Gabby Martinelli keeps it in play on the near side of the field. Looks to shuffle up the left-hand channel, taking on Garnacho. He looks to slip in Lewis Skelly, and a lunge from Dalot. The look from Dalot. He knew that he'd mistimed it straight away. Yellow card, free kick to Arsenal, Darren Bell.
Yeah, Arsenal do that really well. They almost double up on the fullback, and then that little, not even reverse pass, that little rolling behind the opposition fullback, and it was there Martinelli. But it's really good run from Miles Lewis Skelly, and it's Diego Dalot, who, to be fair, he's the right side of the defender, but he goes to ground. He doesn't really need to, but he's been really impressive, Miles Lewis Skelly. He's relished the one-to-one battles with Garnacho. He's come out on top on that. He's not really given much space to operate in, and this is a really good area. I think this is probably, bar the corners they had, this is probably the best position of set play they've had, certainly that they got in that first half.
He's a local lad, isn't he, Lewis Skelly? Islington born and bred. This is just his seventh start, start number 7 in an Arsenal shirt for the 18-year-old Miles Lewis Skelly.
Well, he must be on the verge of being their first choice, because Calafiori's been fantastic. Timber can play out there, but I think it's quite clear already. He's already bypassed Zinchenko when he's gone past Kieran Tierney, who's obviously surplus to requirements, so he's been fantastic ever since he came in.
Tierney and Zinchenko among the Arsenal subs. As I say, I'll give you those substitutes in just a moment. 5 minutes into the second half here. Arsenal fans at the North Bank away to our left on their feet. A near capacity crowd. Free kick left wing position. About 6 yards from the dead ball line. So level with about the edge of the 6-yard box. Martinelli right-footed to just dink it into the edge of the 6-yard area. That's a great header away by Harry Maguire through a crowd of players. And now Manchester United can counter. Good industry by Ugarte, sliding in to beat Sterling to the ball. Sterling then got back at him, did even better to help win it back for Arsenal, and he was bundled out of play there by Ugarte. Has he given a free kick or a throw, the referee? I think it is just a throw on that far side of the field, and Arsenal will take it with Jurrien Timber out in front of the east stand on the far side. Arsenal 0, Manchester United 0, and we will have extra time and penalties should we need it to separate the two teams. Ipswich still lead Bristol Rovers by 3-0 in the third round of the FA Cup. Ipswich have missed a penalty. High ball downfield for Arsenal towards Raheem Sterling, header away by Noussair Mazraoui of Manchester United. Quite resilient in the game so far, and clearly, understandably, lifted by the excellent performance at Liverpool in the Premier League.
Yeah, they look so much more defensively solid. Not really, no many gaps. Arsenal struggling to play through them. Arsenal almost making it a little bit easier for them.
Oh, and a slip by Jurrien Timber, racing away at the inside right is Garnacho. It's on for Manchester United here. Garnacho square. Bruno Fernandes. What a finish! What a goal on the counter for Manchester United. Fantastic! Bruno Fernandes slides on his knees in celebration. A goal, a finish, a beauty and a brilliance. The slip from Jurrien Timber, so costly for Arsenal, and Garnacho raced down the right-hand side, teed up his captain, and Bruno Fernandes with such an unerring finish, angled into the corner, no chance for Raya. And it's Manchester United who take the lead. Arsenal 0, Manchester United 1.
What a finish. I mean, it's a little mistake from Gabriel, and after that he's trying to catch Garnacho. He's never going to catch him. I thought the opportunity had gone. I thought Garnacho had maybe missed Højlund, but he left it in an area, and it wasn't the easiest of finishes. But Bruno Fernandes, with the quality that he's got, he races onto it, and what a finish. He opens his body up, he uses the inside of his foot and just guides it. I think it's bouncing when it comes to him. It's almost on the half volley, and he just feeds it back into that far corner, back where it comes from, because it's not the best of passes from Garnacho. It was a little bit like Xerxes to Maguire at Anfield, where the pass appreciation wasn't quite there. But Garnacho does really, really well. Saliba's caught in no man's land, and he almost bobbles it across to him. But Fernandes, what a finish, comes onto it with his instep, side foot, uses Jurrien Timber, bends it round him, back into that far top corner. 1-0 Manchester United, but what a finish from Bruno Fernandes.
That's just quality and class from Bruno Fernandes. Used the bounce to good effect, the bounce on the pass, took it on the half volley. Manchester United lead by a 1-0. And it was Lewis Skelly with the slip in the build-up for Arsenal, and Manchester United through Garnacho. Good awareness, if not the perfect pass, but it didn't matter because of the quality of the finish. Arsenal have it all to do, they're 1-0 down. But here's an opportunity. Marino with a low shot from the edge of the box, well blocked by a sliding Harry Maguire. Manchester United have won under Ruben Amorim at the Etihad. They got a point at Anfield. Can they win in the FA Cup at the Emirates? Cross from Martinelli, in swinging, in towards Ødegaard. Maguire there again, hit by Sterling, dreadful. Away from goal, easy for Dalot to hammer it away. Not sure what he was thinking there, Raheem Sterling, but the challenge is set for Arsenal. 53 minutes into the cup time, they're 1-0 down.
Yeah, they are. They're going to have to now do something a little bit different. They've made it too easy for Manchester United to defend it. They've not played between the lines quick enough. It's all been a bit one-paced. They're going to have to step it up now.
Here is Martinelli. 5 yards from the dead ball line. Manchester United with all those blue shirts back behind the ball. How stout defensively, how resolute can they be? Martinelli on the corner of the penalty area, delivers left-footed. Maguire only half away this time. Havertz with the shot, and it's deflected wide. Is it? No, he's just sliced that wide. Havertz, a miss-hit shot. It fell to him about 6 yards out, and he couldn't get it anywhere near the target in the end. Stays 1-0 to Manchester United. What drama, live and exclusive on Talksport.
That's the problem Arsenal have had. It's a fantastic cross from Martinelli, and it falls to Kai Havertz quite calmly. He takes the first touch, which is good, but just loses all composure. It goes for laces rather than a hard side foot. You're 7 yards out, a hard side foot. You beat the goalkeeper. You're that close. There's bodies everywhere. You hard side foot and you keep it low. You score. It goes to smash it and gets the technique all wrong. He mishits it, and that's been the story of Arsenal the last couple of weeks.
Latest scores for you in the third round of the FA Cup. Crystal Palace 1, Stockport County 0. Ipswich 3, Bristol Rovers 0. Newcastle 2, Bromley 1. Live on Talksport 2, and here Manchester United lead at the Emirates. Out on the right for them is Garnacho, who slices his cross high into the away end. 8,000 supporters behind that goal. Aberdeen 0, Hearts 0 in the Scottish Premiership. St Johnstone have a goal back at Rangers, but still trail 3-1. And Chelsea Women 3, Charlton 0 in the Women's FA Cup is the latest score. Earlier on today, Tottenham won after extra time at Tamworth. Doncaster beat Hull on penalty kicks. Southampton against Swansea underway in the FA Cup third round shortly. We'll keep you up to date. The fourth round draw once we're done here at Arsenal, and then that is followed by the final word with Majestic and Alan Pardew. 03717 223344 to have your say on the afternoon's football. Ødegaard with a precise ball up the middle. Again, Harry Maguire's there, playing very well. Maguire. There's a foul though in the middle of the Manchester United half, and a yellow card out of the pocket of the referee. This time I think it's in the direction of Dalot, who came Ugarte rather, who wrestled the Arsenal man Marino off the ball. It is Ugarte who's been booked. 1-0 Manchester United.
I mean, it was the right type of run. Good defending from Harry Maguire there in that last phase of play. But that's the type of run that you're going to have to make. Kai Havertz trying to get in there, but he just got the execution wrong, Martin Ødegaard. But that's what they're going to have to do. They can't keep playing to feet. At some point, they're going to have to start getting the ball in behind and really utilising the pace they've got. Sterling, Martinelli, they're going to have to start doing that because it's been far too comfortable defensively for Manchester United so far.
There's no quick route back into the game maybe for Arsenal. Behind after 52 minutes. We're now in minute 57. Ødegaard dead centre with this free kick. Manchester United with everybody back, a long line of players across the whole edge of the penalty area. Ødegaard thinked it to the right, and again there to hook it away is Harry Maguire. Manchester United have got well over half an hour to try and see out. There's a foul on the far side by Sterling, given by the assistant referee. Flagged straight up into the air as Ruben Amorim takes a swig from the water bottle. They've turned up on quite a few of the big occasions so far. They were beaten here in the Premier League by Arsenal in early December, were Manchester United. But, as I say, they won at Manchester City, at their last victory in any competition. They got a draw at Anfield, and are they going to win in the FA Cup away at Arsenal? It's confusing and confounding sometimes, the inconsistency of Manchester United.
Well, at the minute, from a tactical standpoint, it's been perfect. I mean, they've defensively been solid. They haven't really created too much, and the one clear-cut chance, well, it's not even clear-cut, the one bit of quality they did create, Bruno Fernandes takes it with a wonderful finish, and that's the situation now. That's the situation they find themselves in. But it's now Arsenal to kind of come out of what they've been doing, play a little bit quicker. Even if you go a little bit more direct, you've got to try and move this Manchester United back line, because it goes from a 3 to a 5 very quickly. The more you push them back, it will go to a 5, and that's where you need runners.
Magnificent sweep into the net from Bruno Fernandes to put Manchester United into the lead. The captain has scored. And Jorginho for Arsenal. Out to the right, the far side, and Timber with the long sleeve white shirt on. Now William Saliba pokes it over halfway, gives it away to Mazraoui. Arsenal heading for back-to-back home defeats potentially, albeit a long way to go. Havertz has robbed Ugarte. Havertz takes it in his stride. Infield to Sterling, edge of the penalty area. Further squares Marino, back to Odegaard. Shot deflects away. Havertz trying to reach the rebound. Good defending by Lisandro Martinez. Knew that the ball had looped up into the air, and a good header, an important header away from danger. Now Manchester United are on the break. It's Garnacho feeding Mazraoui, left-hand side into the area. The angle against him. Nusayr Mazraoui. Garnacho from the angle pulls it back. A poor pull back, and it's been turned behind by Timber. They were a bit lucky there, United and Garnacho, to get a corner out of it. Meanwhile, fury on the near side touchline as Arsenal look to the fourth official, upset they didn't get a free kick.
Yeah, I mean, it's Højlund and Saliba, and there is a stray elbow in there. I'm not saying it's intentional, but there is an arm to the face, but that's what Højlund's going to have to do. He holds it up really well there. He backs into Saliba, he's a problem. He lays it off and then he spins and he goes again. They just chose the wrong option in the end there. Mazraoui makes a good run, but there's not really a lot of movement. You're talking about 6 Arsenal defenders up against 3 Man United attackers. Really, really poor.
With the referee pointing towards the near side touchline, Mikel Arteta and more than one of his coaching staff engaged in discussions with the fourth official, and Saliba's pointing out that he was hurt by the challenge a few moments ago. Is there a cut to his mouth maybe, Saliba? Is he bleeding from his nose? He's being treated off the pitch at the moment. Meanwhile, Manchester United will take a corner as Newcastle make it 3-1 against Bromley in the FA Cup, live on Talksport 2. Corner Manchester United, whipped into the back post. Raya claws it away, but there was a foul. Raya almost stumbling back, swatted that away. Arsenal get the free kick anyway. The Arsenal subs: Neto the goalkeeper, Rice, Partey, Kivior, Zinchenko, Butler, Oyedeji, Tierney and Trossard. And on the bench for Manchester United, we've had an hour, so who knows, it might be time to make the first changes soon. Euro, Collier, Zirkzee, Onana the goalkeeper, Eriksson, Ahmad, Casemiro, Anthony and Malacia. New shirt for Saliba, who's back on. And Arsenal still making their point to the fourth official at the moment. There would have been a lot of controversy if Manchester United had scored from the corner with an hour gone, with Saliba off the pitch. It's United who lead 1-0 heading for the fourth round.
Yeah, they've used the tactics really well. They've worked the ball, they've been solid defensively, and it's up to Arsenal now to make things happen. You look at the Arsenal bench and you start thinking, well, who can? Declan Rice and Thomas Partey are probably the two that I would probably look at.
Slide tackle Dalot, who is on a yellow card. He's done it on Marino. Here comes the second yellow card, and Dalot is off. Manchester United are down to 10 men. The Arsenal fans were right out of their seats to protest. It was right in front of the Arsenal dugout. Dalot with a risky challenge, sliding in on Mikel Marino, and the referee, after a quick look, produces a second yellow card, and yet again Manchester United are down to 10 men. Dalot late on Marino, who got to it first, scooped it over him. Dalot got nowhere near the ball. It's a second book of an offence, and while Manchester United lead 1-0, they're going to have to play about half an hour plus added time with 10 men.
Well, it's just brain dead from Dalot, because he's not going anywhere. Moreno, he kicks the ball out of play, and Dalot still goes to ground. And you know, if you're on a yellow card, just stay on your feet. That Moreno's not going to score from that distance. The most that's going to happen is going to go out for a throw-in. The fact he chose that decision to go to ground and make that challenge, I don't even think there's much contact with Moreno, but you offer that situation. When you go to ground and you're late and you don't win the ball, you're going to get yourself booked. And when you're on a yellow, it's poor decision making by Diego Dalot.
Dalot off, and Manchester United down to 10 men, and they've tried to stop Arsenal from taking the free kick. Garnacho in the way, arms outstretched, looks to the referee. Now the Manchester United coaching staff are marching out of the technical area towards the fourth official. Organised chaos at the Emirates Stadium in the third round of the FA Cup. Arsenal with a man more than Manchester United, but they're a goal down. Ahmad's going to come on for Manchester United in a moment. Signed a new deal this week. Martinelli, right wing cross, punched away by the goalkeeper. Dropped towards Gabriel on the half volley. He scored! What fantastic technique! 1-1. Gabriel with a brilliant goal. And Arsenal are level. And can they go on and win it here? Incredible noise footed to leave Altay Bayındır statuesque, and Manchester United in massive trouble. Arsenal won, the 10 men of Manchester United won.
That's some finish from Gabriel. What a finish, because it drops. It comes from quite a high height, and he keeps his composure, and he just swivels on it. He doesn't try to take the lever off the ball, and that's the key. He thinks, if I hit the target, I think it takes a slight nick of De Ligt, but it's a really good finish. But these are the type of situations when you go to 10 men, if you can score straight away, you'll cause the opposition problems. Diogo Dalot gets himself sent off. Within 4 minutes, the ball was in the Manchester United net. But again, the finish from Gabriel, he swivels on it. But the key is, he doesn't try to blast it. He thinks, if I hit the target, there's a chance it goes in. And he gets enough contact on it. It just about, from just outside the 6-yard box, comes off the heel of De Ligt. And it's a really, really good finish. And Arsenal now back in it.
Well, it'll be Gabriel's goal. And Arsenal have a leveller right after the Dalot sending off. Manchester United have not brought Ahmad onto the field. He's gone to sit back down. They have won a free kick in their right back position. Mikel Arteta cannot believe that, shakes his head, hands to his head. It's Arsenal 1, Manchester United 1 in the FA Cup game day exclusive on Talksport with Carling, the official beer partner of the Emirates FA Cup. 18 plus, please drink responsibly. We will have the 4th round draw for you once this game is done. Then the final word with Majestic and former Premier League manager Alan Pardew. 03717 223344. Mikel Arteta has been yellow carded now.
I mean, it's
wow.
It is wow. It's all gone off now. But you look into the bench for Arsenal, and you're looking at Declan Rice getting ready. That would be the change if I'm Mikel Arteta. Thomas Partey, Declan Rice, energy in that middle of the park now. They're down to 10 men. Rasmus Højlund is going to be isolated. You're going to have a lot of the ball. You need players that have got energy, that have got legs, and those two for me coming off the bench could make a massive difference.
Arsenal are level. Not a striker, not even a midfield player. But Gabriel's a good source of goals, 5th of the season. Arsenal won, the 10 men of Manchester United won. Ahmad was going to come on, but as I say, he's put his tracksuit top back on. Manchester United are going to stick with the team that they've got on the pitch, the 10 men as it stands. Garnacho's playing right wing back. Here come Arsenal, smelling blood now. Arsenal down the right hand side, risk into the area. Sterling cuts it back, timbers, the shot is blocked, and then the deflected effort over the top by Mikel Merino. Arsenal getting closer and closer to turning this right around, and we're only 20 minutes into the second half.
Raheem Sterling, sharp as they come, it goes past Mazraoui like he's not even there, and he doesn't stop and take the easy way out. It goes again, and it goes past him, and it's unlucky. It falls to Moreno on the wrong foot. It bobbles up at almost hip height, and he can't quite control the finish. But this is all Arsenal, and you've got to look at it from a fullback standpoint. Playing Garnacho up against Martinelli and Lewis Skelly, that might be a situation where Ruben Amorim might have to look at, because as an attacker you never sense danger, and that might be an opportunity for Arsenal to kind of exploit.
Dalot sent off for 2 yellow cards, and then Gabriel equalising for Arsenal to cancel out Bruno Fernandes' opener. Ødegaard with the in-swing, left-footed corner, punched away by Altay Bayındır and hammered further clear by Garnacho. So far, you have to say, the goalkeeper with number 1 on the back of his green shirt, Altay Bayındır, has dealt well with the Arsenal corners.
He has done really well. He's punched it all. He's been brave. He's been strong. They've not really tested him too much. He's not got himself isolated in there. He's managed to get free as well and really cause a problem, and he's dealt with it really well.
It's all on maybe for Arsenal here. Arsenal all in white. Out on the left-hand side, the near side is Martinelli. Back in field to Jorginho. Well intercepted, knocked off now by Manchester United's Manuel Ugarte, who carries possession over the halfway line, right in front of Ruben Amorim, on the edge of his technical area at the moment. No free kick given. Manchester United allowed to play the advantage because there was a foul by Merino on Ugarte, but United smuggle the ball in field. What does Ruben Amorim do now, Darren Bent?
Well, again, he's put on Ahmad, and you think that would probably be the obvious one, is bringing on someone like Ahmad who's got the legs, who can run forward. But I would definitely look at from a Garnacho standpoint, is that the right situation, because they're going to find themselves 2v1 in this area, and from an attacking standpoint you don't sense danger, you don't look what's going on behind you.
Rasmus Højlund is down by the corner flag for Manchester United. Bruno Fernandes and Garnacho in the middle. The play has been slowed. Kobbie Mainoo to go back to Noussair Mazraoui. Bruno Fernandes is blocked off by the ricochet of Jorginho. David Raya has to sprint to the edge of the penalty area. It's a goal kick to Arsenal anyway. 1-1. Final quarter of normal time to go in the game, otherwise we'll have extra time and penalties. Crystal Palace 1, Stockport of League 1-0 in the FA Cup third round. Ipswich lead Bristol Rovers 3-0. Newcastle 3, Bromley 1 on Talksport 2. In Scottish Premiership football, Aberdeen 0, Hearts 0, Rangers 3, St Johnstone 1, Chelsea Women 3, Charlton Women 1. You're up to date. And Southampton against Swansea in the FA Cup just getting underway. Sterling, lovely footwork, edge of the penalty area, corner of the box for Arsenal, but he can't get past. There are about 5 blue shirts around him. Looking lively though, Sterling.
He's looking really positive. He's getting the ball, he's down at the full-back, he's trying to go past Mazraoui, and Arsenal need that. They need to mix it up. They've been handed a lifeline by getting themselves back into this game. But with 10 men, you have to make them defend, you have to make them work really hard, and Raheem Sterling's doing that.
Sterling tearing forward again, he lays it square, Havertz in the penalty area. Can he smother it beyond Maguire? Penalty! Foul on Havertz! Penalty to Arsenal! Ruben Amorim turns away in disgust. Arsenal have got a penalty kick, and this time it's Harry Maguire to look at the referee with utter bemusement on his face. No VAR, so it won't be checked. The on-field referee's decision is final, but Harry Maguire is crestfallen, and a Manchester United about to find that things are going to get worse and worse for them here. The 10 men have conceded a penalty kick. Oh, and now there are players from both teams going head-to-head. Oh, and Garnacho, that was naughty. He's pushed an Arsenal player to the ground on the edge of the box. The referee's got a yellow card out of his pocket. Certainly a melee of players on the edge of the box, and still it's not under control. Arsenal and Manchester United, a classic footballing rivalry. We know they don't like each other, and Arsenal will get to take the penalty once all this is calmed down. But it will take a few more seconds for the referee on the field, and even the assistants actually from both sides have come onto the pitch as things look to simmer down. Darren Bent.
Yeah, I mean, first and foremost, I didn't think it was a penalty. I thought Maguire defended the situation really well, but I don't know what's happening in the fracas. It looked like a little bit of Garnacho, it looked like Kai Havertz, it looked like Harry Maguire. They're all getting involved in it, but I mean, the referee now, whoever's taking the penalty, the one thing they have to do is just keep their composure, because again, I didn't think it was a penalty, if I'm honest. I thought he went down quite easily. I thought he should have shot beforehand. He doesn't do that, but they get a penalty out of it anyway.
Yellow for Maguire, and I think a yellow card for Gabriel, produced by the referee, who has got his finger to his ear. No VAR, it will be an Arsenal penalty, and a busy few seconds for Andy Madley, the referee. Arsenal with a chance to turn the game around. 1-1 the score against the 10 men of Manchester United. Gabriel's got the ball at the moment in his hands. I'm sure he's not going to take it, is he?
It's the most obvious one as well, because Gabriel's holding the ball, and everyone on the pitch is going, you're not taking the penalty. But I understand why he's doing that, just to give Martin Odegaard the opportunity to just kind of calm himself down and regain composure. It's been about 2-3 minutes since the incident happened. He's got to keep his composure, stay focused.
Maguire was really upset with Havertz, feels that he dived to win the penalty. Maguire, very honest player, led the protestations. It's Martin Odegaard, of course, the captain, standing over the ball for Arsenal here. Altay Bayindir is making sure that he delays the taking of the spot kick as long as possible. Arsenal fans behind the goal in the lower tier of the North Bank at the Emirates Stadium are all on their feet. Some are waving red and white scarves, and some are holding up their phones to capture the moment. Arsenal 1, the 10 men of Manchester United 1. Odegaard will take the penalty to try and turn things around. With 90 minutes to go, it's Odegaard, left-footed, saved by Altay Bayindir. Fantastic save, away to his left-hand side, and the goalkeeper, so often a villain in these sort of matches for Manchester United, is the hero to keep the score level at 1-1. Martin Odegaard has missed the penalty, and now Lisandro Martinez has gone down. It stays 1-1 thanks to the heroics of Altay Bayindir.
Yeah, it's a fantastic penalty save, you have to say. Martin Odegaard, I thought he kept his composure really well. That little started run up, and it's a fantastic save. I mean, he's at full strength, 2 arms as well. He almost gambles and goes slightly early to his left. It's a really, really good save from the goalkeeper. I wouldn't even say it's a bad penalty, it's just a fantastic save by Bayindir.
Declan Rice is going to come on for Arsenal shortly in what is turning into a classic FA Cup encounter. Joshua Zirkzee getting ready for Manchester United, and Toby Collier as well, the young midfield player. Little seen in a Manchester United shirt. Straight swap for Arsenal. Rice for Marino.
That's the change I would have made. I think the longer this game goes on, Moreno's been very, very good today, played well, but you need that added little bit of quality, that bit of energy. And Declan Rice, he'll understand his defensive responsibilities as well, but can drive forward as well. So that would have been certainly the first change that I made.
Twice we've thought Ahmad was going to come on, and it still hasn't happened. You can understand Ruben Amorim is changing his mind again and again and again, reacting to the situation. 17 minutes to go, and we're heading for extra time. Arsenal 1, Manchester United 1 is the latest score in the third round of the FA Cup. Exclusively live on Talksport. You can't hear the game anywhere else. And so heading for extra time, potentially, but no doubt more to come between now and then. Collier and the instantly recognisable Xerxes with the curly hair ready to come on. And well, Ahmad is getting instructions, but I'm going to give up in a minute, I think, on whether Ahmad comes on or off. We'll see in a second. Arsenal on the ball with Ødegaard, who's missed a penalty kick. Altay Bayindir has saved it and could turn into a classic, this one. Quick throw, Timber down the right hand side, far side of the field. The 10 men of Manchester United win it back. Cleared by Lisandro Martinez, chested down neatly by Højlund, who hasn't got into the game much, given away by Bruno Fernandes. Foul on Lewis Skelly by Garnacho. Arsenal free kick. Triple change for Manchester United coming up. Arsenal with just over 16 minutes of normal time to go. Sterling inside right channel. Arsenal all in white today. Ødegaard all left foot. Scampers infield from the right, as he loves to do. Ødegaard, little square pass, just tapped to the feet of Timber. Teases it back infield to Raheem Sterling. Arsenal fans are ready to celebrate, but they can't turn the match around completely just yet. Havertz to the dead ball line, taking on Nusayr Mazraoui, and he's chipped it all the way back to Timber. Everybody behind the ball for Manchester United here. Sterling again in that right wing position, all quite congested for Arsenal, so they might have to go back and start again from halfway.
They will do, but he's looked really sharp, Raheem Sterling, in the second half. He's come on, he's tried to make things happen, he's going at the fullback at every opportunity, but I think at times they're getting stuck on that right hand side. But if they were to switch it, you've got Miles Lewis-Skelly and Gabriel Martinelli like there, 2v1 with Garnacho.
Martinelli has plucked the ball out of the air in the left wing position. Martinelli shapes to cut in field, reverse ball out to the left. Lewis Skelly thought about a cross, plays it back to Martinelli instead. Constant pressure on the Manchester United goal. 15 minutes of normal time to go. Arsenal 1, Manchester United 1. A cracking FA Cup third round tie that is far from over. In by Martinelli, right-footed, diving header away by Maguire, who will feel that justice was done. Gave away the penalty for an apparent foul on Kai Havertz. Saved by Altay Bayindir to deny Martin Ødegaard. Jorginho carries the ball forward, utterly unchallenged in the middle of the Manchester United half, not coming forward at great pace. Angles it to his right, and Højlund, Ødegaard. Further wide is Sterling. North Bank end, infield it goes to Ødegaard on the edge of the penalty area, chips it in, headed by Rice, tips over. Flying header and a brilliant save again from Altay Bayindir. Declan Rice ghosted in unchallenged, should have scored.
He's got to score. I mean, it's a fantastic cross from Martin Ødegaard, and he just drifts in there. No one picks him up. No one ever sees the run. He's off the back of De Ligt as well, but he almost makes up the goalkeeper's mind. If he heads it down, he scores. Because he goes almost head high. I mean, Bayindir, by the way, that's what he's in goal for. He makes a fantastic save. But if Declan Rice heads it down from 4 yards out, he scores. But that's what the situation is. When you have a wide winger playing almost fullback, you just don't sense danger, because Declan Rice gets between Garnacho and De Ligt. De Ligt doesn't know what's behind him, and Declan Rice really should score.
Sitting on the floor now, the Manchester United goalkeeper. Physio is on, and with each and every save that he makes, Bayindir he's quite literally deflecting all of the preconceptions about him that maybe we had before the game after that dreadful performance in the League Cup away at Tottenham Hotspur. He's back in North London, and he's playing very impressively indeed. Latest from the FA Cup at Selhurst Park on Talksport. Here's Charlotte Richardson.
It's Crystal Palace 1, Stockport 0 into the final 10 minutes. It is feeling very edgy here. The Premier League side have Turner, their goalkeeper, to thank for preserving their lead. A brilliant save to deny the League One side from levelling in a second half that has largely been dominated by the home team. It's Crystal Palace 1, Stockport 0.
Elsewhere in the FA Cup, Ipswich still in command, Mike Sewell.
They are indeed. Ipswich 3, Bristol Rovers 0. It should be 4-0. Ali Al-Hamidi had a penalty early in the second half, dreadfully taken, pulled it badly wide. That's only the real chance we've had in this second period. Ipswich 3, Bristol Rovers 0 with 10 minutes to go.
At early stages in the third round at St Mary's, Ian Abraham.
Southampton 0, Swansea 0, 10 minutes on the clock. Saints have had most of the ball, no real chances though at either end. Southampton 0, Swansea 0.
Thanks, Ian. And Newcastle 3, Bromley 1 it remains, live on Talksport 2. Chelsea women 4, Charlton women 0 in the Women's FA Cup. Well, I wonder how edgy it is in the stands here at Arsenal. You heard Charlotte saying it was very edgy at Selhurst Park. What's your sense of the atmosphere at the moment, Darren? They thought that they were going to turn the game around. Ødegaard's then missed the penalty, and there's still this long stoppage happening while Altay Bayındır receives some treatment.
Yeah, I think Arsenal fans will be quite excited and quite happy about what's going on, because Manchester United down to 10 men. They're the ones now that are taking the game to Manchester United. They're creating opportunities. Yes, there was that penalty mix, but you'd expect with 15-20 minutes to go that there would be more opportunities there for Arsenal. They're down to 10 men. They are going to make a triple change, Manchester United. But Arsenal just got to keep doing what they're doing, keep getting the ball to the wide players, keep getting on the front foot, making Manchester United defend, and they'll be hoping that not so much a clear-cut chance, a good opportunity would fall to somebody, and then they can take it.
Arsenal took not too long to get the equaliser. Bruno Fernandes with the opener, then the sending off of Dalot. Gabriel with the equaliser almost straight after that. And then Ødegaard missed the penalty. Altay Bayındır back on his feet. Corner to Arsenal. North Bank end away to our left. And Ødegaard will whip this in left-footed, and he'll look to float the ball right underneath the crossbar. Oh, he's taken it short to Rice. Unmarked. Back to Jorginho. Corner of the area to whip it in. Hit it away. Comes back to Jorginho, downward header again, well controlled by Rice in his chest edge of the box, good physicality, gets the return ball from Ødegaard, miscontrolled slightly, and Lisandro Martinez steers the ball out of play for a throw. Manchester United finally will make the triple change. Toby Collier, Ahmad and Joshua Zirkzee. Off goes Garnacho, first of all. And he will get the boos as he takes the long walk off the field of play here for Manchester United. Ahmad signed a new deal in the week till 2030, rapidly becoming one of Manchester United's very key players. Kobbie Mainoo will leave the field. He's had some links with a move away. Here comes 21-year-old Toby Collier. 3 appearances prior to today this season, his first in senior football. And I'd imagine it'll be Zirkzee for Højlund in just a moment. And the final number goes up. It is a straight swap up front for Manchester United, which you can entirely understand. A difficult strategy for Ruben Amorim at this point in the match, because of course it won't go any further than today. No more replays in the FA Cup, so it'll have to be settled either in normal time or indeed in extra time, with the possibility of penalty kicks. 9.5 minutes of normal time to go. On goes Zirkzee. We'll have quite a lot of added time at the end of normal time here. Arsenal 1, the 10 men of Manchester United 1. Now then, throw on the far side for Arsenal, led with the edge of the 18-yard box, very congested in front of Yuri and Timber. Everybody back behind the ball once more for United, who haven't won in any competition since that victory at Manchester City in mid-December. Declan Rice shuffles the ball out to the left now, and Gabriel Martinelli one-on-one with Ahmad, drives the dead ball line. Martinelli clips in the cross. The flag is up on the far side. The ball had already gone out of play, and frustration for Arsenal, who still can't find that touch to take the lead for the first time.
Yeah, a little bit of quality though. At least he's positive, Martinelli there, going at Ahmed. He understands, he recognises the situation that he's in, which Ahmed's not a fullback, he's a winger, so his defensive responsibilities maybe not the same as a Dalot or a Mazwari, so he goes at him but just runs out of space and runs out of play. But that's what Arsenal have to do. They have to get the ball wide, but it's cutbacks. It's not just whipping it into the box for the sake of it, it's cutback to midfield players coming onto it and trying to finish it off.
Arsenal, remember, who've lost in the third round in 2 of the last 3 seasons, including here last season against Liverpool. Arsenal give it away. Harry Maguire hammers the ball downfield for Manchester United. It's an Arsenal throw in the right back position on the far side there, right. Now Saliba. Arsenal playing from right to left. Gabriel takes up possession midway inside his own half. The other half of North London, Tottenham, through after extra time against Tamworth earlier today in what was nearly an FA Cup classic, again live on Talksport. Sterling plays the ball back to Ødegaard. The final word coming up after the fourth round draw. Live with us, 03717 223344. Martin Keown with White and Jordan tomorrow from 10 on Talksport. Martinelli taking on Ahmad, left wing position, darts infield. Martinelli, right foot in, swinging cross, headed away by Harry Maguire again, poured away from Mazraoui, no distance on it. It's come back to Raheem Sterling, races up the inside right shuttle. Good tackle by Mazraoui, much better that time.
It was much better. Yeah, he gave himself that distance. He didn't fly at him as quick as possible. He just gave himself a second and read the space where Raheem Sterling wanted to go. But also moving the ball so much more quicker now. 7
minutes of normal time to play. And today, there must be a winner. The two most successful clubs in the history of the FA Cup. Offside against Timber. Arsenal 14 times winners. Manchester United have lifted the trophy on 13 occasions, of course, most recently last season. And they haven't lost in the third round, Manchester United, since 2014 when David Moyes was in charge. And Altay Bayindir will understandably take his time in taking the free kick after the offside.
It was back-to-back finals for Manchester United, wasn't it? Losing to City the first one and then winning last year. But I think that's been the frustration for Manchester United over the last couple of seasons, that they can put a level of performance in, a one-off performance where they can beat one of the teams they're not fancied to beat, and everyone thinks they've turned the corner. Then the very next week they let themselves down. But I think they've gave a good account of themselves today. Again, there's still so much more to do.
There might be trouble here. Arsenal fans get to their feet. Sterling racing down the right, clips in the cross. De Ligt missed it. It's come out to Martin Ødegaard, edge of the area. Now Lewis Skelly, blocked off by Bruno Fernandes. Further wide is Rice. Arsenal have had to slow the play down, and Bruno Fernandes makes a very well-timed challenge. Drives the ball clear up to the halfway line. No outlet at the moment. Xerxes couldn't reach it. It'll just keep coming back at Manchester United into the last 5.5 minutes of normal time at the end of 90. Timber, red boots on, square to Jorginho. Arsenal are camped in the Manchester United half. Out on the right is Sterling again, who continues to look a really potent threat in this game today. The first half substitute for the injured Gabriel Jesus, who had to be stretchered off. Martin Ødegaard with another left-footed in-swinging delivery. Here comes Altay Bayindir again, and the goalkeeper dominant in the air today. Very commanding presence. Manages to catch the ball high above his head, and he goes down and slows the game down.
Well, that type of delivery is not going to get it done, as we spoke about. I mean, Martin Ødegaard's in a really good position there. Just keep recycling it. Go to Lewis Skelly, go out to Declan Rice. But when you try and put that particular type of cross in, they want you to do that. The goalkeeper comes and claims it. Harry Maguire will head that all day. You've got to be a little bit cute in those situations.
More FA Cup football live for you tomorrow night on Talksport 2. Millwall against non-league Dagenham and Redbridge. 11 FA Cup ties on the Talksport network this extended FA Cup third round weekend. We just love the competition here, and we always will on Talksport. Declan Rice shapes to play the ball square. Rice with his jet black hair, and now Saliba in the centre circle, and again Manchester United understandably with 10 men backing off as Arsenal look for a winning goal. Sterling infield from the right. Arsenal don't look full of ideas, I have to say.
Just got to move it quicker. If they move it quicker, they'll create opportunities. I mean, Raheem Sterling's playing like he's got a point to prove. Hasn't really been given many minutes this season, but he's looked really, really sharp, and that might be an option there now, because he's come on, he's been positive, he's tried to make things happen, he's gone by the fullback a couple of times, and also going to need him. Certainly this running, they're going to need him.
Arsenal have worked the ball all the way from right to left to the near side. Martinelli with another attempt at racing infield and crossing right-footed. That is turned away by Ahmad. Xerxes on the break. He's held it well. He's held it up well. He shrugged aside William Saliba. He's knocked it wide to the right-hand side. Ahmad's onto it. Collier in the middle. Ahmad cuts it back. Xerxes low shot. Deflects away. Ahmad from the angle sliding in, trying to whip it back across. Raya sprawling at the feet of Ahmad, and it's deflected behind for a goal kick, and Ahmad is rolling around off the pitch in front of the hoardings, and the Arsenal fans just out of their feet in utter exasperation this time, screaming at the referee. Ahmad is down and may need treatment. He's actually ended up off the pitch.
Yeah, I did see what happened there, but Xerxes does very, very well. He holds the ball up, he manages to get past Saliba, get his body in, roll it out wide, and again Ahmad being really positive. I'm not quite sure why he stays down there, but from Xerxes that will give him a lot of confidence. I thought he'd done really well there, holding the ball up.
So Manchester United temporarily down to 9. 3 minutes of normal time to go. Ahmad receiving treatment. Here come Arsenal 1-1. Rice out to the left. Martinelli hold it up on the near side. Level with the edge of the 18-yard box. Goes on the outside of Bruno Fernandes. Then checks back. Onto his right, reverse ball into the path of the delivery to the back post, overhit by Havertz initially, drops down to William Saliba in the penalty area, and via a double deflection he's managed to knock it wide to Raheem Sterling. Sterling now, Arsenal again territorially dominant, delivered in by Odegaard, left-footed, back post Havertz, over the top, Havertz inside the 6-yard box, didn't expect it to reach him, brought it down and then lobbed it over. He's ended up face down on the turf, and Arsenal's lack of cutting edge, he's shown up yet again there.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it drops to him. I don't quite know how he's put it over. He gets himself into a really good area. Oh, and it's a clear finish. It's an absolute clear finish, and he's put it over the bar. He's gone with the outside of his left foot. Just lift it. If you lift it in, you score. It gets way too much on it, and from there you have to score. There's no excuses for that. You have to score. You're 2 yards out. The goalkeeper comes out. You lift it. Get any good purchase on it. You score. It gets way too much. Takes it over the bar. Another opportunity gone.
Stays 1-1 here. Goal at Southampton in the FA Cup. Ian Abraham.
Southampton 1, Swansea 0. Long ball from defence from Aaron Ramsdale. Flick on, and Sulemana lifting it over the top of McLaughlin in the Swansea goal. It's Southampton 1, Swansea 0.
Maybe a rare moment of positivity in an otherwise dreadful season so far for Southampton. Just over a minute of normal time to go, so heading for extra time in North London, and it's Arsenal 1, Manchester United down to 10 men 1. An absolutely absorbing second half. The first half quiet by comparison, but the second half has been full of constant action. Xerxes can't hold the ball up for Manchester United. Toby Collier, the 21-year-old substitute, goes in the left wing position, but it comes straight off him, clean off him, and it's an Arsenal throw deep inside their own half the field. Forward by Saliba for Arsenal, towards Sterling on the halfway line. It's one back by Ugarte. Sterling takes it off his toes. Now, and there's a free kick given to Manchester United. Much to Arsenal's surprise, it looks as though they're going to have a clear run at a counter-attack, but it's a Manchester United free kick in the last 30 seconds of normal time.
Yeah, I didn't quite see what happened there. I thought Raheem Sterling got his body in really well to Mazraoui and almost pulled it away from him, but clearly there was a shirt tug in there. But this is an opportunity now for Manchester United. You haven't seen much of the ball the last 20 minutes. You can send Maguire up, De Ligt, Xerxes a big boy. You've got a fair few in there now, but the delivery from Bruno Fernandes, which you'd expect, has to be right.
Heading into added time on Talksport. Great nervousness now at the Emirates. 7 added minutes. Bruno Fernandes to float in the free kick to the back post. Harry Maguire with a header back across. Well taken by David Raya. Jumped highest the goalkeeper. Balls it up quickly to Havertz. Early to Sterling. Down the right-hand side. Sterling races forward from the right. Infield into a central position. Edge of the penalty area. Weaving run from Sterling. He hits it left-footed. It's blocked. Comes out to Odegaard. Heavy touch, and Collier smashes it away for Manchester United. 30 seconds through the 7 added. It must be agony in some ways, this, for both sets of supporters, because both teams look like they could score.
Yeah, they do. I mean, Raheem Sterling there, it just shows the wrong option. I mean, he got himself out there. Just give it to Odegaard earlier. If you give it to him earlier, he has an opportunity, but he runs and you can't really have a go at him. I mean, he's been so positive since he's come on, Raheem Sterling. He needed this level of performance.
Saliba, square to Gabriel, attack for defence. Arsenal 1, Manchester United with 10 men 1. A minute through 7 added minutes at the end of 90 here in the third round of the Cup. Out on the left again is Martinelli. Martinelli tries to shimmy beyond Dalot. He does. He dinks in the high looping cross. Nobody there attacking at the back post. It's a corner. Quickly to Ipswich. Full-time Mike Stewart.
It's a cruise for Ipswich. Ipswich 3, Bristol Rovers 0. Goals from Calvin Phillips, Jack Clark and Jack Taylor in the first half. Ipswich even missed a penalty through Ali Al-Hamadi. Ipswich 3, Bristol Rovers 0.
Thank you, Mike. Corner to Arsenal. Perfect timing here as Odegaard goes across to take it. It'll be left-footed and then swinging. Everybody back now for Manchester United, and everybody forward really for Arsenal, with the exception, of course, of Raya. Even Lewis Skelly, the outfield player furthest from the goal, is only 25 yards out. Odegaard will whip and bend this in, left-footed into the near post. Not a good delivery, headed away by the first man, Collier. Sterling to deliver right-footed from the corner of the penalty area. Gabriel trying to chest it down. He got it all wrong. Mazraoui maybe breaking for Manchester United. Ahmad made a good run up the middle, and Mazraoui didn't spot it. Dalot having been sent off for Manchester United earlier on. They've had to play most of the last half an hour with 10 men in the 93rd minute now. Arsenal with Gabriel trying to lead the attacking charge. He's in the penalty area. Havertz has played it square into the feet of Timber to shoot from range, and he's drilled it low and wide from quite a long way out. Full time at Selhurst Park. Charlotte Richardson.
Palace 1, Stockport 0. The scoreline suggests a close tie, and whilst the League One side battled admirably, Palace were in control for most of the 90. Should have made it more comfortable. Eberici Eze's 4th minute winner enough. Palace 1, Stockport 0.
And it's finished at St James's Park as well. Newcastle 3, Bromley 1. The full-time score. Bromley did take the lead very early on, but Newcastle were quickly level and then never looked back. Live on Talksport 2. All the reaction to come. The 4th round draw, and then from 6 o'clock, it's the final word on Talksport with Majestic and the former Newcastle manager, Alan Pardew, taking your calls. 03717 223344. And more reaction on Talksport Breakfast tomorrow morning from 6. Jeff Stelling and Ali McCoist. Timber for Arsenal, right back position, back to Saliba. Nearly halfway through the 7 added minutes at the end of normal time. Are Arsenal going to win it here, or will we have to go into 30 minutes of extra time?
Well, they should have already. I mean, Kai Havertz has had so many opportunities and he's not taken them. And these are the opportunities where the games are tight.
Jorginho, lovely ball. Inside left is Declan Rice! Right across the face of goal. Somehow didn't get touched in. How did that not end up in the far corner? Rice hit it left-footed. There must have been a touch, maybe from the goalkeeper Altay by India. Did he get a fingertip on that to turn it wide? Arsenal have got a corner out of it, and the goalkeeper managed to get half a glove on the ball with his left hand to turn it away. It's a magnificent stop, maybe even better than the penalty save. 1-1 it remains. Ødegaard delivers into the 6-yard box yet again, and it's headed away by Xerxes. Drops down to the edge of the penalty area, given away by Lewis Skelly. And Bruno Fernandes now, forward to Manchester United, Xerxes. Xerxes over the halfway line in the 95th minute. Can he play it through to Ahmad? He can play it through to Ahmad. The flag is up, saved by Raya. Xerxes will dink it over the goalkeeper and a million miles wide anyway. Still 1-1.
What a save from Bayinda, by the way. I never came back to the other end, but Declan Rice probably thinks he scored, and it's a fantastic save. That's a lot better for me than the penalty save. It gets down low and tips it, not into danger, but out for a corner. Fantastic save.
Chances unrelenting for Arsenal. Can they take one of them and win the game? Here's Raheem Sterling down the right-hand side with a looping cross. Here comes the goalkeeper. It's gone behind via deflection for yet another Arsenal corner.
Yeah, great play again, Raheem Sterling, trying to get to that byline. Really intelligent run from out to in behind Mazraoui. He tries to dig it to the far post, and they deal with it really, really well.
We are now into the final few seconds of added time at the end of normal time. Everybody in this stadium on their feet. Everybody back for Manchester United. Again, nearly everyone forward for Arsenal. All in the white shirts. We're in the 96th minute. Martin Ødegaard with yet another corner. In swinging, high to the back post. Underneath it to head it wide is Martinelli. A poor delivery from Ødegaard, who up to this point has not had one of his better games.
No, he hasn't. I mean, even that one there gets way too much pace on it, but it gets too much height on it as well, and Martinelli's almost backpedaling and he can't generate the power to head it back across. Now Declan Rice is on. I'm really shocked he's not been the one to kind of step up now and take the set plays, because his set plays this season have been fantastic, have been brilliant. So again, opportunity. Martin Ødegaard, he's almost been on the fringes. Just one or two situations where we haven't quite seen the best of him so far today.
Well, I think the Arsenal fans are settling in for extra time. The television cameras very closely behind Ruben Amorim. Manchester United have now played well over half an hour with 10 men, and it has remained at 1-1. Nearly a miscued header from Timber. Gabriel slightly awkwardly back to David Raya. Under pressure from Mazraoui, the goalkeeper has managed to clear. Havertz has held it up. Back to Ødegaard, first time ball. Straight to the feet of Harry Maguire. 30 seconds of added time at the end of the 90 to go. Maguire thought about going backwards, then thunders it high downfield. Timber gets there ahead of Xerxes. Gives it straight to Xerxes though. Turning on the corner of the penalty area. Xerxes looking to drive in field. Back to Bruno Fernandes. This is the very last attack at the end of the 97. Noussair Mazraoui back to Bruno Fernandes. Corner of the 18-yard box. Arsenal with plenty back. Bruno Fernandes delivers. Oh, it nearly ran for Ahmad at the back post. Martinelli crucially gets there in front of De Ligt. Xerxes gone down. He's hurt himself. The 7 minutes of added time have been played, and we will have extra time at the Emirates Stadium after an utterly manic and absorbing second half. All of the action has come since the whistle blew for the second 45. Bruno Fernandes with a magnificent finish to put Manchester United in the lead. But then just 9 minutes later, Diogo Dalot sent off carelessly for a second bookable offence. Gabriel with an almost instant equaliser for Arsenal, who have missed numerous chances to put the tie to bed since then. And so, at least half an hour of extra time still to come in what could turn into an FA Cup classic on Talksport. Arsenal 1, Manchester United 1.
Well, the most famous of FA Cup semi-finals took place at Villa Park in 1999. A red card for Manchester United's Roy Keane. Arsenal's Dennis Bergkamp saw his penalty saved by Peter Schmeichel, and there was a wonder goal to win it in extra time from United's Ryan Giggs. Will history repeat itself at the Emirates this afternoon? Darren Bent, it's a game that exploded into life in that second half, and in particular that final 36 minutes of action that United had to play with 10 men after one of the most moronic second yellow cards I can remember seeing from United's Diogo Dalot.
Yeah, it was I mean, for himself personally, it was embarrassing because Mikel Moreno's not going anywhere. He's on the touchline. I think he even clips the ball and it goes out for a throw on. The fact he opted, when you're on a booking, to go to ground, and you know what it's like, certainly now with the referees and the laws now, if you don't get anywhere near the ball and you go to ground, it's almost like it's an automatic booking. In that scenario, he has to be a little bit clever, has to be a little bit cuter. He doesn't even need to make the challenge. Mikel Moreno's not going anywhere. I think the key for Arsenal is that they score straight away. If it had gone 5 minutes, 6 minutes, 7 minutes, it might have been a bit more difficult. But they score straight away, and it's Arsenal now they're in the ascendancy.
You could sense a tension amongst the fans here inside the Emirates Stadium, but the two sets of players are huddled around their coaches, and the body language is very, very different. The Arsenal players all stood upright, very focused, taking in the information. The United players, they need a massage, they need a drink, they're leaning on one another. They are the tired, exhausted team out of the two, and you can understand why, because Arsenal had chance after chance after chance to have put that game to bed. A missed penalty from Martin Ødegaard, a great save from Altay Bayindir, who was called into the team by Ruben Amorim for this game. But then two massive chances, a header for Declan Rice, Kai Havertz stabbed over as well, and you're starting to think it might be fate almost for United with chances like that going begging.
Exactly. I mean, the Declan Rice one, yeah, he hits the target, but he should score. The Kai Havertz one, there's no excuse for that. I mean, you're 2 yards out, the goalkeeper's almost on one leg, and all you've got to do is, even if you scoff it, but you hit the target, you score. He gets way too much on it. It goes with the outside of his left foot, which is the wrong technique, and Arsenal miss another chance. And you do start to think, Manchester United now, really in this whole game, have only created one clear-cut chance, really. And Bruno Fernandes, what a finish. But all Arsenal could do is keep doing what they're doing, keep asking Manchester United questions, keep making them defend, and hopefully the ball will drop down and they can take that opportunity.
Look at the instructions there. Ruben Amorim, very, very, very passionate, and I think you're getting a little bit of translation from Bruno Fernandes as well. He's giving out his information as much as he possibly can, and then Bruno picks up immediately and starts telling a few players, you know, this and that. His English is absolutely brilliant, Amorim, so I'm not sure why, but maybe it's just the captain's instructions from Fernandes as well. What do you think he's just told his players, Ruben Amorim? What do you think Mikel Arteta has done for his Arsenal players?
I think Ruben Amorim's telling his players, just be patient, stay compact, don't let them play through you. We're going to have to work incredibly hard, but one opportunity will arise. Just stay compact, don't give them anything, stay in the game, and if we can get that opportunity, we'll take it. And for Mikel Arteta, it's very much of the same. But you have to be more clinical in that final third. When they present you with that opportunity, you have to take it.
Okay, big 30 minutes of extra time on the way here at the Emirates. We're about to see changes for both teams. I think Miles Lewis-Skelly has just been taken off. Leandro Trossard coming on. Joe Shannon will tell you all about the changes for Manchester United as well. All set up for a grandstand finish here in what has already been a blockbuster FA Cup third round tie, live and exclusive for you here on Talksport. I'll leave you for the first half of extra time with the former England striker Darren Bent and Talksport's Joe Shannon.
Yes, confirmation of the changes. Tyrell Malacia onto the field for Manchester United, the 10 men, and off goes Manuel Ugarte. The Arsenal change, as you say, Trossard for Lewis-Skelly. Out on the far side, the Arsenal left. So it'll be interesting to see if there's any sort of change of shape, maybe, from an Arsenal perspective here. As Ødegaard goes towards the halfway line in conversation with Bruno Fernandes, the two number 8s. As they speak to the referee, ahead of the start of extra time, live on Talksport. These two cannot be separated. So many dramatic FA Cup encounters between Arsenal and Manchester United in the past. This one, in the 97 minutes that were played, had 4 key events. Bruno Fernandes with the opener, Diogo Dalot's sending off, Gabriel's equaliser, and Ødegaard's missed penalty, among other missed chances for Arsenal. So 1-1, and now the referee looks at his watch as we get ready for extra time to begin. Manchester United will restart the game, playing from right to left, all in dark blue towards the north bank, and Arsenal attacking the end that houses the travelling fans. Arsenal in all white, playing from left to right. I'll recap the two sides in just a moment as well, as Lisandro Martinez hooks the ball over his shoulder, high down the Manchester United left, and Saliba will get the ball back for Arsenal. Raya, the goalkeeper then, Timber, Saliba, Gabriel, almost looks like Martinelli playing as a left back at the moment. Jorginho, Rice and Ødegaard, certainly the midfield three. Trossard, Sterling and Havertz down the middle. Arsenal in possession with Jorginho, midway inside opposition territory, dinks it forward. Martinelli could be in down by the dead ball line, but he can't keep it in play. Let's get news of another FA Cup goal at St Mary's. Here's Ian Abraham.
Southampton 2, Swansea 0. Skunamala down the right-hand side, put a low ball in, and Tyler Dibling couldn't miss inside the 6-yard box. Southampton 2, Swansea 0.
And so Manchester United have the goal kick. Arsenal 1, Manchester United 1. They've been playing with 10 men United since the 61st minute. The goalkeeper is Altay Bayindir, who has saved a penalty. Mazraoui, De Ligt, Maguire and Martinez looks like in a 3 almost at the moment. Collier and Bruno Fernandes with Malacia and Ahmad across the middle, and Xerxes very much the lone striker, but it'll be a 5 for Manchester United when they're out of possession, with Malacia just coming in to the wide position of Lisandro Martinez.
Do you know what? I think he's done well, Xerxes, since he's come on. I know he had a tough time, didn't he, where they almost booed him off. I can't remember who the home game was against, but I think today he's been really good. He's held the ball up. I know he's not seen much service, but what he has done, he's fought with the 2 centre-halves, he's created chances, and I think even at the end of normal time there, Bruno Fernandes went up to him and almost said, that well done. That's what you're going to have to do, because he's going to have to try and draw fouls. He's going to have to hold on to the ball. He can't give up possession, because they're going to be defending, you'd expect, for the majority of this extra time.
An utterly captivating but chaotic second half of normal time. Arsenal in much slower possession now, 2 minutes into extra time. Kai Havertz, infield from the right-hand side. Havertz guilty of missing numerous chances in that second half. Jorginho, high ball over the top. Havertz could be in. It's just bounced away from him and into the gloves of Bayindir, who is arguably Manchester United's man of the match for the crucial saves that he's made. And actually, Darren Bent, the penalty stop from Ødegaard was brilliant. There was the save from the flying header from Rice, and then the shot to tip away Rice's left-footed drive from close range was maybe the best.
Yeah, he's been outstanding, and even the way he's dealt with set plays as well, because Arsenal loaded a lot of bodies towards him. He's not been kind of stuck in there. He's made sure he can get out, he can get free. He's made the punches he needs to get, come and claimed it. But as you said, the save he made from Declan Rice down low to his left, out for a corner, was fantastic. I get it. The penalty save was brilliant. The header from Declan Rice, although he should score, but that save from Declan down low to his left was for me the best of the lot.
Penalties in the third round of the FA Cup, should we need them. Offside against Ahmad. Midway inside the Arsenal half, Arsenal get a free kick. Wins in the FA Cup today for Doncaster Rovers on penalties. For Spurs after extra time at Tamworth. For Crystal Palace, for Ipswich, and for Newcastle live on Talksport 2 against Bromley. Southampton 2, Swansea 0, the latest score, as you've been hearing from Ian Abrahams. And the final word follows the FA Cup draw here on Talksport. 03717 223344 to have your say with Majestic and Alan Pardew. And on the left is Martinelli for Arsenal. Far side in front of the Manchester United fans. He's laid it backwards to Jorginho. Quick ball to Rice. Hammers it goalwards. Brilliant block. Fantastic defending from Matthijs de Ligt to turn it away for Manchester United. Looks for all the world that Rice, who could have had a hat-trick today, even since coming on as a substitute, looked like he was going to bury that into the back of the net.
Yeah, it almost looks like he gets caught in the wrong technique, because they work it really well, Martinelli and Jorginho. But he looks like he goes to smash it rather than use his instep, his inside of his foot, and almost feed it into that far corner. He opts for power, and it's a fantastic, again, block from De Ligt. Throws his body, gets his body in the way, and manages to stop a shot in goal. But I just thought Declan Rice did maybe the wrong technique.
Some excellent defensive performances for Manchester United. Ødegaard's free kick, slightly left of centre. Midway inside the Manchester United half, a cluster of white shirts drift from the right into the centre as Ødegaard delivers. Havertz climbing highest, and the header is straight into the chest of the goalkeeper, who plunges down on the ball and can waste away a few seconds here. I wonder what the approach from Ruben Amorim is going to be. 5 minutes nearly through extra time. It's a long time to try and see out if they are playing for penalties.
Yeah, it is. And Arsenal, the way that they're playing, they've come out this first half of extra time is on the front foot. They're trying to cause problems. They're playing the ball a lot quicker than we saw, certainly for large spells of that game. But it's now for Arsenal. Can they create that opportunity to really go and take that game to Manchester United? Because the opportunity is there.
Poorly placed header away by Maguire, and it's nudged forward by Martinelli down the left-hand side. Trossard in a foot race with De Ligt. Trossard has got there first. Tracked every millimetre he goes by De Ligt. Back now to Martinelli. All Arsenal again. Left to right at the start of extra time. Martinelli trying to weave his way into the penalty area. He's done just that. Martinelli crosses, and it's deflected away by De Ligt again. Manchester United very calm inside their own penalty area as they play it clear. Eventually, Bruno Fernandes just has to loft that out of play. Throw to Arsenal. Taken quickly towards Trossard. Touch off Mazraoui. Arsenal corner. 1-1 the score. Exclusively live on Talksport. Here's Darren Bent.
And here he comes, Declan Rice. His delivery, we spoke about it all game. Arsenal haven't quite got the delivery right. He's the one trotting over there, and we know that his delivery can be exceptional. They're going to need that now at the minute, because Manchester United have defended well. They've got their bodies on the line. They've got back in their numbers. There's not been a lot of space. This might be that one opportunity that Arsenal need to take the lead.
Well, every Arsenal delivery so far from these corners has been in swinging. And they're aiming to really whip the ball underneath the crossbar and put great pressure on the goalkeeper yet again. All of the usual back post runners for Arsenal as well. Gabriel's by the penalty spot. The referee's come across yet again. Had a busy afternoon, Andy Madley, with a number of yellow cards, including one even for Mikel Arteta, and the 2 yellow cards for Dalot, who was sent off just after the hour. Arsenal corner at the clock end, where the Manchester United fans are. Rice with whip and bend on the ball, headed away from almost in front of the goal line by Mazraoui, and for the first time in the game, Bayinde was struggling to deal with the Arsenal delivery.
He couldn't get out, and that was the key to that, because Declan Rice puts it just under the crossbar and he just can't get out. I mean, he's managed to do it this whole game, get himself free and not get boxed in there, but on that particular occasion he couldn't get out, and it was Mazraoui who managed to deal with it.
Martin Ødegaard now will take it. This time it'll be in swinging from the near side, the left. The cheers and the chanting of the Arsenal fans. They've dominated since Manchester United went down to 10 men. Ødegaard with a corner in towards the near post. Poor again from Ødegaard. Thumbed away on the volley by Bruno Fernandes. Declan Rice with Ahmad charging at a great pace towards him. Goes back to Ryan. 7 minutes into extra time in the third round of the FA Cup. Arsenal 1, Manchester United 1. Manchester United today looking for what would be their 100th victory over Arsenal in all competitions. Sterling tears down the right-hand side, but he's beaten to it by Tyrell Malacia, his first meaningful contribution. A slide tackle on the lively Sterling.
Yeah, really good tackle there from Malacia, but Sterling made his intent really clear. The moment he got it, he was going to drive at him, and you could just see Malacia having to go at Ahmad. They're going to have to double up, they're going to have to help each other.
Sterling has looked for Havertz, and the ball has been bundled behind. Good work from Collier, tracking back former Brighton youth team player Toby Collier. And just one start for Manchester United, that was in the League Cup earlier this season, and he tracked the run of Havertz, and Havertz's touch really bobbled off his right foot and behind harmlessly for a goal kick. It's not always easy to play against 10 men, but Manchester United deserve great credit. We're now 98 minutes into the game overall, 8 minutes into extra time. We had 7 added at the end of the 90, and Dalot was sent off after 61 minutes, so that is a long time with 10 men.
It has been, and Arsenal there's an argument to say Arsenal should have had this game completely over, because they've had chances. Declan Rice, Kai Havertz, they've both had opportunities and just haven't taken them. The penalty, of course, as well. But Manchester United, if you're Ruben Amorim, you're happy with the way that they're defending. I think Raheem Sterling's going to have to get on the ball a bit more. Martinelli on that far side, they're going to have to start asking them questions. Kai Havertz has been on the fringes a little bit. He almost feels like a yard off it. I mean, even when he's finishing and his touch there that bobbled out for a corner, just hasn't quite been at it yet.
Malacia clears upfield for Manchester United, then he gets it back from Collier in the left wing back position. Manchester United have hardly created, but when they did create, early in the second half, Bruno Fernandes's finish was a beautifully controlled one, and yet at the same time hit with great power beyond the goalkeeper. Here come Arsenal with Trossard, 35 yards out dead centre. Ødegaard takes over. Ødegaard glides towards the left-hand side. He plays the ball out to the left-wing position in Martinelli, taking on Mazraoui. Dead ball line, crosses deep to the back post. The looping header away by Lisandro Martinez. Then Collier gets his head on it. Wasn't the best of initial clearances from Martinez. Nearly 10 minutes into the first half of extra time. And now the game is stopped, I think because Arsenal want to bring on Thomas Partey here, and they will do for Timber.
Yeah, again, Thomas Partey, I thought he would maybe come on sooner. I did think it would be for Timber, I thought it would be for Jorginho. But now Thomas Partey's got to dictate play, get on the ball, start moving the ball from left to right. But I think for Martinelli in that last instant, he does that so well. He stands the defender up and goes past him. He keeps trying that dink to the back post, and it hasn't paid off yet. I think he's got to mix it up, go to the byline, maybe cut it back for Jorginho or Ødegaard in that space. Maybe around the penalty spot, so he can have a shot at goal.
Partey lays the ball square to the feet of Jorginho. The blue wall, the dark blue shirts of Manchester United between him and the goal. And Partey infield with a 5-yard ball to Sterling over the top from Jorginho. Havertz the angle tight, he's played it across and it's turned over. De Ligt ends up in the back of the net, and the ball would have ended up in the back of the net were it not for his wonderfully timely intervention. Magnificent defending from De Ligt, who has had one of his best games for Manchester United today.
Incredible defending. I thought it was a goal. I thought he was in. I thought Leandro Trossard's probably thinking, right, I'll put it in the empty net. De Ligt come from nowhere and somehow from under the crossbar manages to lift it on top of the crossbar. I mean, it is absolutely incredible defending, because Trossard thinks he scored.
Majestic, almost unbelievable defending from De Ligt, but Manchester United will have more work to do. Lovely reverse ball by Ødegaard, cut out there by Harry Maguire before it could reach Leandro Trossard. Manchester United are defending their 18-yard line, defending even deeper than that at times, but they have won a free kick as Collier draws the foul from he must be a deflated forward, Havertz, here at this point. But of course, Arsenal just lack options in that area with all the injuries that they've got, and surely work is going to have to be done for Arsenal over the rest of the January transfer window for those reinforcements that feel, I think, even more necessary on a day like this, given the way the game has panned out.
That's been the problem, is that they've created the chance, and it was the same against Newcastle. It wasn't the fact they got beat 2-0, it's that they had chances to take that game and win that game, and they just missed them. And it's been the same today. Although we sit here 1-1 and they still might go on to win the game, they've had more than enough opportunities to have beaten Manchester United now, and it just hasn't worked.
Bruno Fernandes has belted it back high to Bayindir, who controlled that elegantly on his chest. The confidence of the goalkeeper now. Good clearance up towards Xerxes. It's out to play, and Mikel Arteta, even with his smart shoes on, races out to get Arsenal back on the attack. Arsenal 1, Manchester United 1. 12 minutes now into extra time. And half-time in the FA Cup at Southampton, Ian Abraham.
Southampton 2, Swansea 0. First goal, Sulemana from a long ball from Ramsdale, flicked on. Lobbed goalkeeper McLaughlin from outside the area. He set up the second for a tap-in for Tyler Dibbling. Half-time, Southampton 2, Swansea 0.
Here's Raheem Sterling infield to Jorginho for Arsenal. Picks the pass to Ødegaard on the edge of the area, lays it square. Leandro Trossard, left-footed, hammers it over the top. Under great pressure, it has to be said, and Manchester United go across to almost congratulate the sliding Lisandro Martinez. He gets a few pats on the back, but this time Trossard, who's only scored 4 times this season, cannot test Bayindir. And here comes the change for Manchester United, a straight swap. Lenny Euro, the 19-year-old, the centre-half with so much promise. He'll come on in place of Harry Maguire.
I think Harry Maguire's defended really, really well today. I think he's put his body on the line, he's made blocks. He gave away the penalty, although I did think it was a penalty. But he's defended in that 3. You can quite clearly see when he plays in the middle of a back 3, he looks more assured, looks more comfortable. When you put him into a back 4, I think that's where we've seen the struggle, certainly the last few seasons of Harry Maguire. But I thought he's been excellent today.
He is not the most popular man in North London at the moment. Well, he certainly is with the away support to our immediate right. But as Maguire trudges towards the near side, he's got his socks halfway down his shins, he's holding his shin pads, he's got tape around his ankles. Maguire high-five with Euro, and he goes to sit down in the dugout. And the Arsenal fans are right behind him. We're only 20 rows from the edge of the pitch, 20 rows or so, directly behind the Manchester United dugout. And it's not a particularly positive reception for Maguire. Euro onto the field, though, for Manchester United, with his athleticism and that sort of instinctive quality that he possesses. Last few seconds of normal time in the first half of extra time. 45 seconds of it to go. There might be a minute or two added maybe at the end of the first half of extra time. Partey with the throw for Arsenal. 1-1 against the 10 men of Manchester United. And Saliba cuts the ball square into the path of Gabriel. Forward to the halfway line and Trossard dropping deep. Then working the ball wide to Partey again. Darts away from the challenge of Collier. Works the ball out to the right-hand side and Havertz is taking on Malacia, who is in retreat. Havertz holds it up on the corner of the penalty area. Whips it in left-footed. Nobody picked out Martinelli's late run to the back post, but Havertz with the overhit cross. And he may yet be a hero in this game, but it's just not happening for Havertz today.
And that's what I'm talking about, just on the fringes again. I mean, he gets himself into a really good area. Now can he find that pass, that little bit of quality? And the idea was right, because Martinelli makes a really good run in behind, I think it's Mazraoui, but he just gets too much on it. He's almost caught in between at the minute, but the longer this game goes on, you'd expect Arsenal to get more and more chances, but you have to say, Manchester United have defended really, really well, but it's can they keep Arsenal out for another 15 minutes?
2 minutes of added time at the end of the first half of extra time. With the fourth round draw to come for you on Talksport. We'll bring you all of the ties as Gabriel clears for Arsenal and Collier has fouled Jorginho. Went right through the back of it. Free kick to Arsenal just shy of halfway. The Arsenal debate will continue tomorrow whatever happens. Martin Keown with White and Jordan from 10 o'clock on Talksport tomorrow morning. Here is Thomas Partey, infield and square to Jorginho. Manchester United have defended heroically. You have to give them credit for that. Defending in great numbers and with great spirit.
You have to, and you can quite clearly see what they're trying to do under Ruben Amorim. Not letting teams play between them. They've been compact. They drop it to a 3 at times, then into a 4, then into a 5, depending on the situation they find themselves in. But defensively today, yes, Arsenal should be out of sight, but when they've had to, certainly since they've gone down to 10 men, they're defending so diligently.
Sometimes you need luck, don't you, as well? And Manchester United, off the ball generally, have been as good as you could expect with 10 men for such a long period of time. Arsenal with 40 seconds of added time remaining in the first half of extra time. Have the ball through Partey, a succession of passes. Arsenal have gone from left to right. Must have had 10-15 passes in this move. Partey corner of the penalty area. Erdegaard with a dummy. Can't get it through to Havertz. Jorginho races onto the loose ball. De Ligt sliding in to steer it away. Manchester United with great determination to keep Arsenal out. You shall not pass is the message from Manchester United and goalkeeper Bayindir, who remember saved a second half penalty. We could be heading for penalties. We are at the moment. 1-1 in extra time. Jorginho looks up, 35 yards out, whip ball over the top, down the right to Partey. No way through for Arsenal at the moment. Martin Erdegaard thinks about crossing, lays it back. Gabriel thinks about shooting. He's poked it wide to Partey. Good football from Arsenal. Partey whips in the cross. Rice with the downward header, and the goalkeeper's there to gather into his chest, and that is the end of the first half of extra time. Arsenal 1, the 10 men of Manchester United 1.
Absolutely fantastic FA Cup third round entertainment. We're on the edge of our seats here at the Emirates Stadium. Bated breath from all of the Gunners fans. They're getting agitated, they're getting a little bit angry, getting frustrated, Darren Bent. Is that how their players will be feeling?
A little bit, yeah, because they're getting their right opportunities, but as players sometimes you know what you want to do, but for whatever reason you choose the wrong option, and we've seen it a number of times that first half of the extra time when they're getting themselves into really good areas and you're thinking, can they see a pass, can someone have a shot or goal, and they're just they're executing it all wrong. We saw there Declan Rice works it really well with Jorginho, and rather than open his body up and try and feed it into that far corner, he opts for power, and it just wasn't on it. It was a fantastic block from De Ligt. But if you're Manchester United, I mean, you must be in your last legs. You've worked so hard for this amount of time, but it's can Arsenal pick that lock and find that one little bit of space, and then someone converts it.
I mean, it is for that reason I truly believe Arsenal will score in this next 15 minutes or so, because we are starting to see the physicality, the fatigue setting in on those Manchester United players. It's taking real effect, the fact that they've had to play for so long with a man less. You know, that defensive performance has been fantastic. There have, of course, been chances for Arsenal. Will it be the same from Manchester United? At any point, do you think any of those players will gamble? Do you think Joshua Zirkzee will just put himself 10-15 yards higher up the pitch to think maybe, just maybe, that one opportunity will come? Or will he actually drop in now, and will we see a complete backs to the wall, all 10 players completely now just behind it, just trying to get themselves into that penalty shootout?
I think that you'll see Zirkzee drop further and further deeper, because I just think if he goes on his own and tries to gamble and then they get picked off and they get caught out, he'll get the blame for it because they're already down to 10 men. If he's out the game and they're down to 9, they're going to be saying, where are you going? We've only got 10 men. Why do you think you can get in? So I think you'll see him drop further and further deeper. And Manchester United, the longer this extra time goes on, it'll be Manchester United that will be pushing for penalties.
If Arsenal don't go through, what will the Emirates Stadium be like, do you think?
Oh, it won't be good. It'll be subdued. Because again, it'll be another opportunity missed because like the Newcastle game, yes, they lose 2-0, should have won the game with the chances they have. You fast forward now to this game, FA Cup on a Sunday, yes, they might go out on penalties, but if you look at the bigger picture, they should have won the game in 90 minutes. They had more than enough opportunities to win this game.
Now, whether Manchester United go through or go out, I think they will leave the Emirates Stadium with a lot of pride restored, and certainly for the 8,000 travelling United fans, there will be a huge show of gratitude. They have worked themselves almost at this stage into the ground, but they are still in it, still hoping that they can get themselves at least to a penalty shootout, and from there, who knows? They've already saved one penalty this afternoon from Altay Bayindir. Can he be a hero again in a shootout? Long way to go before then. Big 15 minutes live and exclusive on Talksport. Arsenal 1, Manchester United 1 in the company of former England striker Darren Bent and Joe Shannon.
And of course the extra emphasis for Manchester United, the pride as cup holders, wanting to retain their trophy as the second half of extra time begins. Arsenal from right to left, all in white. Manchester United in dark blue from left to right. And the ball is with Thomas Partey on the halfway line. A remarkable FA Cup third round tie. And when Arsenal got the equaliser, just moments after Diogo Dalot had been sent off, you would have backed them. But here come Manchester United. Amad Diallo, who loves an extra time winner in the FA Cup. Up to the edge of the penalty area, lays it square. Joshua Zirkzee in space to shoot low! And David Raya gets down to turn it behind. It looked for a moment like it had squirmed under the goalkeeper. It's a corner to Manchester United.
That's some save from David Raya, but again, that comes from Zirkzee doing what all good centre-forward should do. He holds the ball up, he waits for Ahmed to make the run. Ahmed gives it back to him. He opens his body up, and I think he almost reversed it. It takes a slight nick of Thomas Partey's heel, and it almost wrong foots David Raya, and he manages to get down and make a terrific save, because that's going in. It's going in the bottom corner.
Well, I've got my penalty grid ready just in case, but we may not need penalty kicks. A minute into the second half of extra time. Bruno Fernandes standing over the ball for Manchester United. One arm up into the air, a rare corner in the game for them. Rare bit of pressure on Arsenal. In by Bruno Fernandes to the near post, punched away by David Raya. It'll come back out to Bruno Fernandes again. He looks up, sizes up a first-time ball. Maybe sensibly lets it drift out of play because I think it was bobbling at him. It will be a Manchester United throw, level with the edge of the Arsenal penalty area. And of course, maybe players' minds will be going to penalty kicks at this point, Darren.
Absolutely. I mean, the games that I was involved in where the longer extra time went on, you start thinking about your penalties, and that might be the moment someone switches off, and then the other team capitalise. But for sure now, if a player, so if you're an attacking player on this Manchester United side and Arsenal, you're thinking, right, we could be going to penalties here, we could be going.
Ruben Amorim able to crack a smile after that Zirkzee shot that was just turned around the post, the near post by Raya. Mazraoui wearing gloves on the near side of the field. He's midway into the Arsenal half. He's been tackled by Martinelli. Careless. Trossard shuffles from left to right into the centre, and Jorginho hauled down by Mazraoui. Free kick to Arsenal. Lip of the centre circle inside their own half of the field. Arsenal 1, the 10 men of Manchester United 1. Live and exclusive. It's only on Talksport. Gabriel, the number 6. Square to Saliba. Gabriel's equaliser to make it 1-1 feels a long time ago now. Arsenal have let numerous chances come and go since then, as Sterling drives infield. Partey checks back out wide to the Arsenal right. Infield from Ødegaard to Raheem Sterling again, trying to take on Lisandro Martinez. Knocks it further wide. Partey is in a crossing position, and it did take a touch. It really flew towards the near post off Collier, I think, and that's a corner to Arsenal. They're into double figures in the corner count.
Yeah, good play there from Thomas Partey and Raheem Sterling. They've linked up really well on that side of the pitch.
Oh, they've taken it short. Can they catch Manchester United out? Ødegaard edge of the penalty area, lays it square, dinked up into the air by Sterling, and the flicked header is gathered by the goalkeeper. It was Martinelli, I think, with the looping header in the end. Arsenal tried a quick-fire corner kick routine, and I think they almost caught themselves out there. Sterling didn't look ready for it on the edge of the box. It was a strange dink forward. Rice got his head on it, and then it ended up in the gloves of Bayindir via the header of Martinelli.
Yeah, it was a really strange delivery there from Raheem Sterling, because it didn't really have any pace on it, any power on it. He just almost stabbed it up in the air, which tells me he wasn't really ready for it. But I mean, they tried to be inventful. Arsenal there, but I think when you're as good at set plays as Arsenal are, take your time, get everyone in that box, get everyone in the right position, and then take the set play.
Frenetic atmosphere continues. Both sets of supporters and both benches contesting every decision possible. Amorim to the right of the halfway line, we're just behind him, Arteta to the left. They barely left the edge of their technical areas. Now here comes Gabriel for Arsenal at almost walking pace. Square ball to Jorginho, midway inside the Manchester United half. Arsenal with that territorial dominance that has been commonplace for so much of the game. Now into the second half of extra time. 4 minutes of it have been played. Dinks over the top by Ødegaard to Sterling to deliver. The offside flag is up on the far side. Bruno Fernandes was there to clear anyway. 109 minutes then into the game, and it remains 1-1 as penalties draw ever closer. Another landmark moment perhaps in the storied FA Cup history between these two clubs.
Yeah, again, in that situation, I think we've seen too much of that from Martin Ødegaard today, where that little scoopy flick pass where I know Raheem Sterling looked like he was maybe a yard offside, but I just think that pass wasn't on. I mean, if the ball does get to Raheem Sterling, he can't really control it. He's almost running out of play, and I think we've seen a bit too much of that from Martin Ødegaard today. Usually he's precise in his passing, he's really inventful, he makes things happen, but I almost feel like today he's been on the cusp of everything.
Headed down by Xerxes, back to Bruno Fernandes, quick ball over the top, Ahmad could be in, he's got the pace to take on Gabriel trying to hold him up for now, corner of the penalty area, Collier in the middle, it's teed up for Bruno Fernandes, 5 yards to the edge of the D, further wide is Collier again, Collier steers it to the right hand side, delivered in by Mazraoui, Ahmad with a downward header at the back post, it's wide, under pressure, and it's a goal kick to Arsenal, and if anything, 10 minutes of extra time to go, Manchester United creating more.
Yeah, they are. Ahmed and Xerxes certainly running forward, showing that energy. I mean, Ahmed, since he's come on as well, he's been brilliant, positive. Not only does he sprint forward to try and make things happen, he sprints back to get into defensive shape as well, and I think they're going to be the main two sources of outlet for Manchester United.
The 10 men looking more likely. Arsenal have got it at the other end away to the left, the north bank. Ødegaard, 25 yards out right of centre. Partey, back to Martin Ødegaard. Ødegaard whips it in left-footed, that's a good ball, but it's going to take one bounce and go behind. Arsenal side to side, and no great potency in the final third for the most part. And that, in part, is why they haven't put Manchester United to bed.
It feels like it's more in hope than anything with Arsenal at the minute, in that they're getting to the edge of the box, edge of Manchester United's box, and they're almost lacking ideas. Like they want to play that little through pass, they want to just maybe clip onto that back post, but again there's no one really. The dynamic of the movement's not really quite there, and that's why Ødegaard's getting the ball in that situation, on that little pocket on that right hand side, and he just drifted one in the penalty area. It just hasn't quite happened for him yet.
Well, tremendous noise from the Manchester United fans. There is a problem at the moment. Is that for Declan Rice? I think it could be, or maybe even Jorginho. And both of them look like they were bent forward there. The Arsenal physio came on, now they're both standing up straight. I think it was Jorginho who had the issue, and he's going to come over to the near side of the field. Arsenal might have to think about what they do now strategically with time running out in the game. As Jorginho trudges towards the near side, there are 8 minutes of extra time to go, and all sorts of issues here for Mikel Arteta from an injury perspective. And once again today, Kieran Tierney is going to come on for Jorginho, a very rare appearance for him.
Yeah, and that maybe tells you the strength of Arsenal's bench. I mean, it's good to see Tierney coming on. Jorginho, I didn't think he'd last as much as he did, but now obviously Partey will kind of slot into that holding midfield role, and then Tierney's going to have to come on and give that energy on this left-hand side you'd expect.
So confirmation of the change. Jorginho leaves the field. Remember, Jesus was stretchered off in the first half, and a big cheer for Kieran Tierney. Just his second appearance for Arsenal since the 2023 Community Shield. Both have been in cup competitions, and both have been this season. He played 69 minutes against Crystal Palace in the League Cup towards the end of December. Arsenal won, the 10 men of Manchester United won. Live on Talksport in an absolute thriller. Declan Rice hits it over the top. Chasing is Kai Havertz. Mazraoui the favourite to get back. Mazraoui gets there first. There must be some tired legs for both teams, particularly you'd think for the 10 men of Manchester United. As Malacia lets the ball trickle across his body. Arsenal have won a free kick through Raheem Sterling in the right wing position. It's a dangerous area, this, and a goal surely at this point would be enough to win the tie for either team.
When you think of it, certainly from an Arsenal perspective, if they were to get the goal now, Manchester United would have to push forward, and with 10 men, that just leaves gaps for Arsenal to exploit. But at the minute, Arsenal have got to put it in with quality.
Rice has taken it quickly. Sterling to the corner of the penalty area on the outside of Malacia. Sterling then checks back infield. Malacia gets a touch on it. It might drop here for Saliba. Now on the edge of the area is Rice, but I think Sterling's been penalised for catching Malacia on the follow-through, just as it looked like with 6 minutes of extra time to go before penalties, just as it looked like Arsenal might get that crucial shot in.
He dealt really well with the 1v1s, Tyrell Malacia. We saw it as soon as he came on. Raheem Sterling got his head up and ran full pelt at him, and he didn't get much joy in that situation, and that was the exact same. They gave it to Sterling early from that free kick. And again, I think when you're chasing the game, you're not even much chasing, but you're expected to go and win it, you start to make really subdued and rash decisions. And I think that's a good area to get the ball in the box with quality from a free kick, and you give it to Raheem Sterling early, maybe not ready for it, and then you end up letting the situation go.
The FA Cup holders standing firm. Manchester United level at the Emirates Stadium. They've played now for over an hour with 10 men. Diogo Dalot sending off for the second half. We're now 5 minutes from penalty kicks. Arsenal with Trossard, a square ball to Thomas Partey. Partey out on the far side, the right, about 10 yards in field. Sterling hugging the touchline. No great refinement in their attacking play for Arsenal so far. Rice steers the ball to the left. Kieran Tierney, orthodox left back, with his first real touch in the game. Tierney with a delightful cross all the way to the back post. Malacia heads it behind. Arsenal fans upset, I think, that nobody was attacking such a good delivery corner.
Incredible ball from Kieran Tierney, and he's got every right to look at the likes of Kai Havertz and Martin Odegaard, maybe even Declan Rice. Why are you not in there? He just uses the defender and just drops it into that area, and there's no one there. And these are the situations you're talking about. Arsenal lack that real killer instinct, because that should be a goal. That should be 2-1.
Odegaard has taken the last couple of corners short. It doesn't look like he'll do that this time. Arsenal fans on their feet. It's 1-1. Odegaard now to really fizz that in, left-footed. Up goes the goalkeeper, headed away from in front of him by Lenny Yoro. And now Ahmad trying to break away for Manchester United. He can't do it. Throw to Arsenal midway inside Manchester United territory. Referee just saying he'll have to go a couple of yards further back, Martin Odegaard, and he does. Now Sterling in a crossing position, driving towards the corner of the penalty area. Raheem Sterling not with the quick enough feet to get beyond 3 blue shirts converging upon him. And it's a goal kick to Manchester United, who in some ways have made mockery of the fact that they've been down to 10 men for such a long time. And the momentum now, you can feel it swinging. Feels like it's with Manchester United. 8,000 away fans are making most of the noise here now as the game ticks slowly but surely towards penalties. 3.5 minutes of extra time to go.
Yeah, I mean, Manchester United defended really well in extra time, and since they've gone down for 10 men, really let Arsenal create too much, although Arsenal should be winning. But you'd have to say now, with Bayindir in goal and the penalty save that he's already made, would that be seeping into the psyche of the Arsenal players? Because, you know, we've seen him do it already, save a penalty. Do you give them the edge if it does get to penalties?
Well, we've seen David Raya produce penalty heroics in the Champions League for Arsenal before. Arsenal will need their goalkeeper, Manchester United will need theirs. Or is there to be a very, very late winner in extra time? 117 minutes out of 120 have been played. The ball is out to the right-hand side for Arsenal. Odegaard yet again finding Sterling. Yet again Arsenal wonder, can they find the telling touch? So often they haven't been able to do that in this match. Martin Odegaard, yet another in-swinging ball. Havertz with the flicked header wide. That was a much more difficult one under pressure. Trossard was at the back post too, but he couldn't get there. Havertz again with the touch, behind for a goal kick.
Yeah, it's another one of those floaty deliveries. I mean, it takes a hell of a header to score from there. I mean, Kai Havertz, he gets up really early and it almost comes off the back of his head and it just past the post. But I just don't think, other than that Kieran Tierney one we saw 10 minutes ago, where he drops it into the middle of that 6-yard box, I don't think the quality from wide areas into the box has been nowhere near good enough.
And the Arsenal fans responding in deafening fashion to their Manchester United counterparts. 2 minutes of extra time left. The ball is prodded up the inside left channel by Bruno Fernandes, offside against Ahmad on that far side. Wins in the FA Cup today for Tottenham, for Crystal Palace, for Ipswich, for Newcastle and for Doncaster on penalties. Arsenal and Manchester United heading for penalties here. 90 seconds of extra time to go. Gabriel Martinelli with a right-footed in-swinging cross. Two Manchester United defenders slip, but they still get it away. And the referee has stopped play for a foul inside the penalty area on Noussair Mazraoui. And Manchester United are nearly there. They have had a couple of chances in this second half of extra time, but they've nearly eked out a penalty shootout. And whilst I think nobody in football in the modern day would say it's a lottery, I think that has completely been disproven. Manchester United, certainly in terms of the way that has gone, will feel far more positive, and Arsenal might feel quite deflated going into spot kicks.
Yeah, agreed. I think Arsenal will be looking at the amount of chances they've had going into, as you said, if it does go to penalties, thinking how have they not won this game. Whereas Manchester United, 10 men, getting it to penalty shootout, defending really well, putting your bodies on the line, working as hard as they have, you might just go, do you know what, the psychological edge might just be, and with their goalkeeper already saving a penalty today, the psychological edge might just be with Manchester United.
Ruben Amorim jumping up into the air, encouraging his players to get back behind the ball. Lisandro Martinez is playing as a central striker at the moment. I know his finish at Anfield was good, but he's playing upfield. Arsenal have the ball. Last 25 seconds of extra time on Talksport. Live and exclusive, it's Arsenal 1, Manchester United 1. What an FA Cup tie. Utterly breathless since the start of the second half. Martin Ødegaard, does it have a fantastic finish for either team? Or will we get penalties? The last few seconds now. Will we have any added time at the very end of extra time? Gabriel for Arsenal, 25 yards out, a minute added at the end of extra time. Trossard weaving out to the left-hand side. Trossard with the cross, only half away. Ødegaard brings it down, hit by Partey, deflected over the top. Corner to Arsenal. And Arsenal fans on the front row turn around and say, everybody get up, because this could be their big FA Cup third round moment.
The delivery has to be right. It has to be right. They haven't got it right yet, but this one is the one. 1 minute left of injury time. They have to get it right. This is an opportunity for Arsenal.
One more corner for Manchester United to defend. Injury time in extra time. It's 1-1. Penalties on the way, or are they? Everybody back for Manchester United. Everybody in the penalty area for Arsenal, bar Raya. Here comes Ødegaard. It's looping high to the edge of the 6-yard box. Gabriel's header, only half away. Thundered up into the air by Joshua Zirkzee. We've just about had the added time and extra time. Leandro Trossard now for Arsenal. Smuggles the ball in fear. That'll come to Saliba on the edge of the area. Zirkzee in the way. Still we play on. Out on the right for Arsenal is Sterling. Further wide, Thomas Partey. Added time on added time and extra time. 1-1 on Talksport. Manchester United fans want the whistle. Delivered in by Partey. Away by Ahmad. And the full-time whistle at the end of extra time is blown. And we will have penalty kicks after a fantastic defensive rearguard from Manchester United. The story of an incredible third-round tie began really in the second half. Bruno Fernandes with the opener, then Dalot sent off, Gabriel's quick equaliser, Ødegaard, who may have to take a penalty in a moment, missed a penalty, and now extra time has come and gone, and penalty kicks to come at Emirates Stadium. Full time after extra time, Arsenal 1, Manchester United 1.
It's an FA Cup tie that's had absolutely everything. Pulsating from start to finish. Great goals, a save penalty, a red card, extra time, and now penalties. The glamour tie of the FA Cup third round between Arsenal and Manchester United has delivered a classic, and it doesn't end here. 11 live FA Cup third round commentaries across the Talksport network this weekend. Why would you want to be anywhere else? Darren Bent, the Emirates is the place to be. The drama ramped up now, another gear, another notch. Nothing really between the sides in extra time.
No, there wasn't. I thought Arsenal didn't really do enough to really make Manchester United work in that extra time. And Man United had a few breakaways where Zirkzee, I thought, done really well when he came on, held the ball up. Him and Ahmed linked up really well. And David Raya was probably the one who had to make that really good save in extra time. But surely if you're Manchester United going into the situation now, the fact that your goalkeeper saved a penalty already in today's game, does that give them the psychological edge going into a penalty shootout? I do think it'll be key as to what end the penalties are taken at.
8,000 Manchester United fans, and maybe the Arsenal fans will be kind of aggrieved with their club, because we've seen so many away supporters put in, the top corner, the top tier, hidden away from their players. The whole back end of one of the ends of the pitch, one behind one of the goals, is Manchester United fans all the way round covering both corner flags. You know, that will feel like the Stretford end in many ways to those Manchester United players if they're taking penalties at that end, because all they will hear is their name being sung, and all the Arsenal goalkeeper David Raya's going to hear is, well, I can't really repeat it, but it's not going to be something he wants to hear. So the toss of the coin here could be absolutely crucial. What is it like walking up to take a penalty against fans baying for your blood?
Do you know, it's a little bit nerve-wracking, but again, because I was a penalty taker anyway, it was a little bit different for me, so my mindset was always the same. Put the ball down, I know exactly where I was going to put it, I'd step up, and if the keeper saves it, he saves it, but I was quite clear in mind as to where I was going to put the ball. And I think for the penalty shooter, and you've heard it so many times, Hugh, I think for these players taking penalties, because there'll be a lot of unnatural penalty takers there, don't change your mind on the run-up.
Who will this shootout mean more to, do you think? Ruben Amorim, after that performance away at Anfield, not wanting to lose momentum, or Mikel Arteta, who obviously beaten by Newcastle in the Carabao Cup in the semi-final first leg in midweek, and that draw against Brighton in the Premier League last weekend? Who needs it most?
I almost feel like Mikel Arteta needs it because of the run after one, as you said, Newcastle, the Brighton result before that. But regardless, I think if Manchester United go out, I think Ruben Amorim will be like, well, you know what, I'm proud of my team. Down to 10 men, they put a level of resilience in, they cause Arsenal problems, and I think even if they do get beat, I think Ruben Amorim will go, you know what, I'm proud of my side, and I'll be happy with the performance.
What message do coaches give to players in this situation? Can they really tell you anything? I get it, the goalkeepers get the instructions about where the players like to take their penalties, that's fine. But what about the players taking the penalties? What can you garner from the coaches during these small moments?
Well, you can't. You've got to be the one to go to the manager, because often the manager will say, right, who wants to take a penalty? And then everyone puts their hands up and he'll just go, you sure? Yep, away you go. There's nothing in this scenario that a coach can tell you, unless it's someone you know doesn't really take penalties and puts their hands up. The coach might go, listen, if we get past the normal 5, then yes. But until that, it's the 5 most comfortable will take the penalties.
Well, we remember the 2005 FA Cup final at Wembley. Arsenal beating Manchester United 5-4 in the shootout. Paul Scholes with a decisive miss. They actually did have a penalty shootout in pre-season, pre-arranged penalty shootout in Los Angeles. United won that one 4-3. Andre Onana was in net for that one. We'll see if that makes any difference whatsoever. It's been a fantastic afternoon at the Emirates. More drama to come, live and exclusively here on Talksport, in the company of former England striker Darren Bent and Talksport's Joe Shedden.
And the penalties will be taken at the Manchester United end. Away to our right-hand side, shake of the hand between Raya and Bayindir, who has already saved one spot kick across the course of an absolutely thrilling FA Cup third-round tie. Bruno Fernandes's name is being chanted by the Manchester United fans. Both sets of players stand on the lip of the centre circle, all huddled together. The coaching staff and the unused substitutes likewise on the near side touchline, utterly helpless as to what's about to unfold. Manchester United, with 10 men from the 61st minute, survived the rest of the second half, only conceding 1 goal, then survive extra time, and now can they take the lead in the penalty shootout? At the clock end to our right, Bruno Fernandes, who scored once already in this game, beyond Raya in open play, to give Manchester United the lead at the start of the shootout. The FA Cup holders, here he goes right-footed with a slow, stuttering run-up, and he sends Raya the wrong way. The goalkeeper dived to his left, and Bruno Fernandes picked out the opposite corner.
Fantastic penalty from Bruno. He looks so calm, composed, just done that little hop, skip and jump that he does, and waited for Raya to go the wrong way, and just rolled it into the goalkeeper's right. Really, really good penalty, and just settles everyone down for Manchester United.
On a very chilly day with the floodlights on. Talk about pressure and talk about courage from Martin Odegaard. He places the ball down and he stands up to face Altay Bayindir, all in green. A lot of information given to the United goalkeeper before the shootout. Odegaard has seen it saved in the second half, that initial penalty. Here he is in the shootout with an angled left foot to bring Arsenal level, and he does! Altay Bayindir dives to his left-hand side. Odegaard went the opposite way this time, and he punches the air with delight. His redemption, 1-1 in the shootout.
That is what you call composure. He waits again for Bayindir to go the other way, and he just rolls it to the goalkeeper's right. Really good penalty, big penalty, considering he missed one in the 90 minutes, and you'd know that. The fact he stepped up, took penalty 1, settled everyone down again, really composed. A leader's penalty.
8,000 Manchester United fans behind the goal to the right-hand side. Here comes the man who feels like is their main man these days. Ahmad signed a new contract this week. A short run-up, a straight run-up. Raya crouched down on his toes. Ahmad stutters, left-footed, smashes it beyond the diving goalkeeper, who went the wrong way. And Manchester United lead 2-1 after 3 very good penalties in the shootout.
Yeah, Ahmad, that told me he knew exactly what he was going to do regardless. Just got his head down and just whipped it to the goalkeeper's left. And to be fair, no goalkeeper's gone the right way in a minute. But even if I think David Raya had gone the right way, that Ahmad penalty, side netting, great penalty.
You're live with Talksport. Manchester United lead 2-1 in the penalty shootout. Kai Havertz had a horrible 120 minutes for the most part. Here he is with another pressure penalty. The German, often in his career a man for the big occasion, places the ball on the spot. Can he draw Arsenal level once again in this third round shootout in front of a pumped up and confident goalkeeper? Altay by India in front of the United fans. Havertz stutters, left-footed, turned away. Altay by India turns it beyond the post. Havertz's nightmare gets worse and worse. He looks up to the skies in desperation. Advantage Manchester United in the shootout.
Yeah, it told me that much confidence. I knew that he was going to do that little stuttered run-up. But Bayindir doesn't buy into it. He just stays there. Usually a goalkeeper would either go one way or the other. He doesn't. He stays big. He stays strong. And he waits for Kai Havertz to make his decision. And he goes to the goalkeeper's left. And Bayindir guesses right. Throws himself across to that bottom corner. And makes a really good save. But poor penalty by Kai Havertz standards.
Plunging to his left. And a full-throated roar from the goalkeeper. Puffing his cheeks out. Manchester United can take control of the shootout here with Lenny Euro, the centre-half, the 19-year-old, who came on towards the end. And now he stands with only Raya between him and a goal. Smashed right-footed by Euro into the bottom corner. Again, Raya goes the wrong way. And Manchester United, who played for so long in the match, in normal time and in extra time with 10 men, now have a 3-1 advantage, having taken 3 penalties themselves. Up steps Declan Rice next.
Yeah, really good penalty for Lenny Euro. Again, waiting for the goalkeeper to go to his left and then just reverse whips it back towards the goalkeeper's right. And again, even if Raya goes the right way, it almost caresses the inside of the post, side netting. Really good penalty by him.
1 or 2 of the Arsenal fans are trudging away towards the exits already. Maybe it's fated for Manchester United today. Declan Rice could have had a hat-trick in the course of the game. He came on as a second-half substitute. Now, the pressure is really on him. Manchester United 3-1 up in the shootout. This is Arsenal's 3rd penalty kick. Rice from just inside the penalty area. It'll be a straight right-footed drilled effort into the bottom corner, and though Bayindir guessed right, he couldn't keep it out. Arsenal fans trying to keep their hopes up, but Manchester United lead 3-2 after 3 penalties apiece.
Yeah, great penalty from Declan Rice there, because the goalkeeper goes the right way, but he smashes it towards the bottom corner, the keeper's right-hand side, and again that reverse whip into that bottom corner. And again, I've said it before, the goalkeeper goes the right way, and even if he does, he doesn't save that one.
Memories of 2005 maybe, in the Millennium Stadium shootout, which Arsenal won in the FA Cup final against Manchester United, but this time it's Arsenal who've missed the early penalty. And Lisandro Martinez, who blasted Manchester United into the goal against Liverpool at the weekend, is going to roll it left-footed, this time down the middle. Again, he dummied Raya, who committed early to his left-hand side, and Manchester United are in a position now where they are nearly there, 4-2 in front in the penalty shootout. And now, enormous pressure on Thomas Partey. He's got to score.
He does, and the goalkeeper David Raya's got nowhere near any of the Manchester United penalties, which would not give the Arsenal players any confidence, because you think, can he just go the right way and try and save one? But now, as you said there, for Thomas Partey, he's got to be clear of mind. He knows the situation he finds himself in. If he misses, they're out. He has to just keep his composure, but most importantly, hit the target. Hit the target, you've got a chance.
Arsenal's FA Cup prospects could be about to slip away, live on Talksport. If Partey misses, Manchester United are through. 8,000 away fans cheering on their goalkeeper, Altay Bayindir. Is Bayindir going to be the unlikely hero? Not yet. Partey smashes it down the middle. The goalkeeper committed, but now step forward. Joshua Zirkzee, much maligned. Remember, at one stage, he was jeered off when he was substituted against Newcastle recently. He's going to get the chance to win the shootout and send Manchester United through.
He's got a big opportunity there. I thought he did well when he came on, certainly in the game. And as you said there, he was almost ridiculed by the Manchester United supporters a couple of games ago. Now he's got the opportunity to send them into the next round of the Cup.
Joshua Zirkzee The Dutchman will hit this right-footed against David Raya. The Emirates on his feet. Manchester United, staff and players ready to celebrate. Here goes Xerxes. He scores! Manchester United have done it! With two of their most maligned players turning into the unlikeliest of heroes. Altay Bayindir with the save in the shootout. And Joshua Xerxes, the calmest man in North London, to roll home the penalty, send 8,000 travelling fans wild, and take Manchester United into round 4. A remarkable effort from Ruben Amorim's team. So long they played through normal time, so long they played through extra time, down to 10 men. They had to resist everything that Arsenal threw at them. At various stages they looked down and out. At various stages, Altay Bayindir, who had an absolute nightmare against Tottenham in his previous appearance, was there to bail them out. A penalty save in the second half from Ødegaard. A penalty save in the shootout to deny Kai Havertz. And then Joshua Xerxes, from villain to Manchester United hero. And Manchester United show once again that on their day they can compete with the best, while Arsenal's familiar failings in front of goal have been utterly laid bare. Manchester United won at the Etihad in the Premier League. They got a point out of Liverpool, and now they've come to Arsenal in the FA Cup, and the holders are through to round 4, and the Manchester United celebrations begin in earnest. They've all run across to the far side of the field. Altay Bayindir and Joshua Xerxes taking most of the congratulations, but it's been a tremendous team effort from Manchester United today. And where next for Arsenal? Another disappointing day at home in the Cup after the League Cup defeat by Newcastle on Tuesday, beaten in the penalty shootout, and they will feel they should have wrapped the game up in normal time or in extra time, but their finishing deserted them, as so often has been the case. Bruno Fernandes gave Manchester United a second half lead, then Diogo Dalot was sent off, so when Gabriel made it 1-1 just moments later, everybody thought that Arsenal would take the game and go on and win it. But Martin Ødegaard's penalty after 72 minutes was saved. The rest of normal time, and indeed then extra time, came and went. And it was left to Joshua Xerxes to roll home the crucial penalty in the shootout after Bayindir had saved from Havertz. And it's Manchester United with a famous win in an FA Cup Classic. Through to the 4th round, Manchester United win it 5-3 on penalties.
Ruben Amorim is ready to wake the beast of Manchester United. They might not be back to their Champions League winning glory days. They might not be back to one of Europe's best, but do they have the fight, the desire needed in a Manchester United shirt? Are they beginning to show the qualities and character that have epitomised this club over decades? The answer, I think, is yes. They went to Anfield in the Premier League. They battled to a point against the best team in Europe right now. They've come to the team second in the Premier League this weekend and played over an hour with 10 men. They've taken it in the penalty shootout. It isn't about how they did it. It really and truly is about the fact that they don't crumble anymore. They aren't a team that's fragile anymore. And Ruben Amorim might not have shown us all why so many people think he could be one of the great new managers, but he has shown us that he has had an effect in that changing room, Darren Bent. That is clear.
Yeah, the mentality seems to have shifted. You have to say that they've gone to Anfield, as you say there, but it almost felt like when they beat Manchester City a couple of weeks ago as well, you go, okay, then the result at Anfield, and then they come here, and when they went down to 10 men, I never really felt like they were in any danger, and that comes from the manager. The message that he sends on there, never really gets too excited, never gets too down when you get beat, because he knows it's a journey, and he knows that Manchester United are completely miles away from where they expect to be, and the journey's just starting. But what they can take from today is that he's got players out there that are willing to go the extra yard, to put their bodies on the line, the ones that want to play for him, the ones that want to play for Manchester United Football Club. That's a heavy shirt to wear. It comes with a lot of history, Premier League titles, Champions Leagues, trebles, world-class managers, world-class players. For too long we've seen Manchester United players not live up to those expectations. They might and you want to get carried away, but they might just be on the way back. And that performance today, they weren't at their best, but they showed when they were up against it and they had to dig in, they had players that are up for the fight, and that's a fantastic result for Manchester United, albeit being on penalties.
It's the kind of day when the away fans, 8,000 of them, are absolutely delighted that they're not allowed out the stadium as yet. They are revelling in this win, if you like, here at the Emirates Stadium, through to the FA Cup 4th round.